Morning, everybody. We'll call our meeting to order and start with the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did everybody have a chance to review the agenda?
I had a chance to review the agenda. I don't think we've got any last minute changes that I know of, so I would approve it as it's written.
I hope so also. I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any further discussion?
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I do have a resolution that I'd like considered at some point. It's for the July 8th reading of the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah.
happens during a weekday, Wednesday. I'd like to take that up at Christie's time if at all possible, because it's something her and I talked about. If possible, if not, we can fit it in later.
I think we can fit it in during Christie's time.
Yeah. That's at 3 o'clock, 2 hour. Yeah, okay.
Any other discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Did everybody have a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting?
Yeah, I would move to approve the minutes from the June 2nd meeting.
A second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the June 2nd meeting. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Did everybody have a chance to review the vouchers?
Yeah, I've looked through them pretty intently and I would move to approve them.
A second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the vouchers. Is there any further discussion? No questions?
I had one that I didn't answer. It was a fair thing.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. What's that? Do you have the rest of the stuff down in the receipts?
No.
Oh,
Sorry. I didn't hide it on purpose.
That's what I tell Mandy all the time. Didn't hide it on purpose.
thank you. Just two places.
Just two.
What are incorrectly written checks?
Like if it got entered the wrong payee.
Oh, okay. I think that must have been one page.
Very well,
I
thank
don't
you.
know.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
Very well,
It
thank
happens
you.
from time to time, like, we had one yesterday, was, or last Friday, was supposed to be AED professionals or something like that, and it was AED company or something, so, just different vendors.
The only one I ever have questions on, I get corrected on it, they say you can just write PCT.
Just all the time.
It's all the
Okay.
time. That's the
We'll
only
catch
thing you
'em.
need to write, that's right.
Christie.
PCT.
So we have a grant agreement.
Yeah, this is a short-term grant agreement. It's only valid through August 31st. This is something that WOS, Wyoming Office of Homeland Security, put out. They had some extra SHSP funding, state, I just wrote it too.
Historical preservation,
Oh, goodness, no.
SHPO, that's SHPO.
This is, state Homeland Security program. And what we applied for is a vehicle for emergency management.
Okay, that's the one you sent to us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I
And
got
so we got awarded that, and the good news is that that's a vehicle that's got to be reliable, obviously.
Yeah.
And the one that we currently have is not.
And is there a match for that?
Nope.
That's what I thought.
The only thing that we budgeted for was $3,400 to upgrade an option, just so there was additional headroom in the
I was
vehicle,
gonna say legroom,
which
that's right.
based on our current coordinator, is a consideration we have to
So
take
what do they
into
do,
account.
cut a hole in the top of it?
Yeah. But
Put it
for a
down.
fully upfit, brand new, 1-ton pickup to cost the county $3,400 is a
Yeah.
Not
good
bad.
deal.
Yeah. That's that 1-ton pickup with a shell on it, so he can put his stuff in the back and all of that.
Yep.
It looks like an awful good fit. And for
Is-
$3,400, I don't see how you cannot.
Is Jamie nervous? He goes, I'm not at the stay here for a while. They're buying pickups just for me.
I think it'll be the newest one he's ever had.
There you go. You might say for quite a
Yeah,
while.
wow.
There you go. That's good.
Okay, I would entertain a motion for the approval of this grant agreement.
I would move to approve. Where is it 2023?
Is it 2023?
So, because they're for a 2-year cycle,
Oh,
and so it expires September 30th, 26. So the funding would have taken place October 1 of 25,
okay.
23.
23. Okay. I got it.
Yeah, because I was tripped up on that date too. It's like 2023 date.
All those FEMA
Something
grants
like-
are always a year behind.
Even though that runs a quarter. So I would move to approve the 2023 SHSP grant agreement.
I would second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the 2023 SHSP grant agreement. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
I
Motion carries.
thought they had a bunch of typos on there. Wouldn't surprise me, but
And you can see on the project idea, the first 2 are always the grant year.
gotcha.
So 23. It's just Woes trying to get some of their funding from their federal awards used.
So we have our treasurer on our agenda. Good morning, Kristen.
Good morning. Thanks for having me this morning. Things are going very well as we wrap up the end of our fiscal year. We're, did have a question yesterday from, one of the lodging tax board members. She came in and asked why there was such a drop in there. And for this month, when it's obviously been a really busy time, and the state got right back to me and told me that one of Wheatland's major lodging tax collectors submitted their report on time, but the payment didn't arrive until the day after the distribution date. So they'll see that reflected next month. So if they have a question for, if any of the other board members ask for that, I don't know.
And when I seen that, I knew you'd have an answer.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
So then I'll have a big month next time.
Right, he said that it should be reflected, and even, Brett Fanning, there from the Department of Revenue, he was super good, he got right back to us. He can't tell us individually who it is or anything like that, but he did at least tell us why it had happened. Besides that, our tax sale is July the 9th. Right now, we have 80 properties headed that direction. It's been in the paper once already. It'll be this week and next week as well.
How does that compare to normal?
So, last year, we got to the tax sale at 48, so it's pretty on par for that. It's a lot of, we try to reach out, at this point, we try to reach out individually and try to get them to pay those off. And so it just depends how many we can go ahead and get to.
Once somebody sees their name in the paper, they come in and pay.
Just as soon as you think no one reads it, your neighbor reads the paper.
right.
And then calls you and says that your name is in the paper.
Yeah.
So most of the time we hear, my mom was looking in the paper or my neighbor.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
So the irrigation district, going early with their water helped with the number of irrigation taxes that went this time. There still are some on the list, but not as many. So
When do those typically come in? Is the irrigation stuff?
they are usually, they'll come in mostly in September, like right when people get them, they'll pay them. or mortgage companies are doing better about paying the irrigation
That's
as
the
part
issue,
of it. Because they know that there's gonna be a lien on it lien on the property if they don't pay the water. Not this upcoming tax cycle, but next one, the irrigation will be included on the real property bill.
Oh,
So then, that'll be, I think, that'll clear it up a lot, except then it'll adjust people's mortgage payments because it'll look like an increase in property taxes too, so. But lots of counties do it that way, just to avoid those little hanging ones that you get a lien against your property.
You know, this may be more of a Danette question, but I read that state board equalization and their 4% thing and all that, what's your perception of that? What's that look like?
So, that's been really good about including me what she can. We had a conversation with, Wildcats on Friday about it. If they don't certify her, assessment, and I hate to speak out of turn, but if they don't assess it, then it'll be the real property side. But one bright spot is they're not going back. They're not looking at making it retroactive if they do find it, that it wasn't in compliance, because we've had it for several years, and so that would mean rebilling people for additional, which was on the table for a little while, but they're not doing that any longer. So the assessors started their hearings yesterday. I think Campbell County went first, and I don't, Danette was expecting that they would have an answer sooner or later, but sooner rather than later. Our bills don't have to be out until October 10th by law. So that does give us a little bit of room for, if they do decide that she needs to take that 4% off, then we can get it done before we have to bill, rather than having to send them a supplemental bill for the exemption.
And I wouldn't in any way try to put you on the spot, Christie, at all,
Sure.
because I know that's more of what,
Sure.
that's her deal, but I know it's so tied to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was really quite frightening when it was, if we were gonna have to go back and collect that from those past years, because what if property's sold, what if it's out of tax lien,
yeah.
and the tax lien's been paid off, and you do all that, and just how you try to actually administer that would have been really, really hard, so
A mess.
it would have been a mess, and so,
Yeah. Thank you for
that's it.
that.
So besides that, things are going super good. I think we'll be ready for the end of the fiscal year. Yeah, that's,
Are you counting days yet?
no, not yet. Or I think I panic. So,
I did wanna talk treasurer budget just for a minute.
great.
Really, Christie's always excellent about exactly what she needs, she asks for. You know, the vast majority of the postage fees are recouped by folks who want their tags or plates mailed. They have to pay for that postage. The one reason I wanted to bring this up to you all is you'll notice that we did appropriate, or recommending appropriation for a new deputy treasurer. And the intent is that that will actually go away January 1. That it gave time for knowing any one of these offices every 4 years has the potential to have the elected official replaced, right? This is the one that's guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's such a small office, we thought it was prudent to have somebody who could get trained up, ready to go. That way, January 1, whoever the new treasurer was, had a staff of 3 that could operate independently, knowing that whoever the treasurer was would have some sort of learning curve, whether they were in the office or not. There's some learning curve, and so it had to be appropriated for the full year because in the event that
Yes.
Lisa didn't win, and it ends up she's the only one that filed, but, and that could always change with write-ins and things like that, but in the event that she did win, you'd have to keep that position, I think. But that's where we were at, that's why we recommended that we appropriate for a position.
And so that position ideally would be filled July 1st.
As soon as we could go ahead, well, as soon as the, you approve the budget and then we'll go ahead and advertise and get it out there. We're really looking for the right candidate. So as soon afterwards to give them the biggest leg up before the first of the year. Even as long as I've been there, every day you see something that you haven't seen before. I'm sure it's like that in all jobs, but you at least want them to have the basic routine down and so that they feel like they're trained, especially our other girl just had her 1-year anniversary, and so she's doing great, and there's still a lot of training that's happening there, so whatever we can do to put our best foot forward when the new year begins.
What's that position look like as far as like, how do your responsibilities, what's the action, what actually changes from day to day? How would you address that?
So, the newly introduced clerk, we focus on registrations, just because that's the most face-to-face, forward, with the customer. We wait until they get comfortable with that. Ideally, they'll go ahead, like, you'll hardly ever hear me answer the phone in my own office. They're responsible for answering the phone, mail, things that we can do at our pace and be able to help them with questions.
Sure.
Then as they get more confident there, then we'll assign, like, does the bank statements.
Yes.
Lisa does the auto. So we go ahead and find those things that we can assign them, get them super comfortable and so that it becomes a routine. But mostly it's just customer service until they have that confidence that they can start.
Yeah. Thank you.
So the plan would be to fill it as soon as possible, and then at the end of the year, that person would move into
It's-
Lisa's position, basically.
They'd stay in that position
And then that funding would just sit in that account until the end of the year.
correct, to like go ahead and do that. If, yeah. And so it would start just whenever as soon as we could get the right person hired.
Okay.
Just an effort to make sure we didn't lose loss of service,
Mm-hmm.
also we learned.
Well, and I don't know, I think maybe the elected officials should take it like in March or something, because it's super busy in December and January. That's probably some of our busiest months. And to just be newly hired and have to be wading through that by yourself because there is no, everyone else is busy. And so that wouldn't set them up for success. I'll go with it.
Anything else on Christie's budget?
I just wanted to make everybody aware of what that recommendation plan was, should you approve it.
Okay.
And that would also include, I need another computer for her in, for that meantime. I have one in my back room, but it's an antiquated one that runs my old general ledger system. So, the way I see it happening is I'll move to the back and, when that person starts, then, so yeah, I'll need everything that goes with a new hire, including computer.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, I appreciate
And we
it.
have a resolution we're gonna discuss, I think, during your time, real quick.
Sure. It just is temporary closure for county offices.
Super good.
She started to get nervous thinking that she was gonna be put on the hot spot, but not today.
She
So with
said
the,
this was your idea.
It was my idea. I got the email that said, hey, come to our party at 3:00 on July the 8th. And I was thinking, that's great, except I'm at work. Oh, but you'll be in my in the lawn.
Yeah.
And so yeah, if you guys would consider going ahead and closing at 3:30. So not only can our employees go, but also, they're already gonna have the street shut off, at least 9th Street. I haven't heard about, the other 2 streets, but it's gonna start at 3:30. I think it's a very cool thing, and if you guys are open to it, we'll try to get the word out there so it doesn't impact, customers. It's the 8th, so it's not a big day for us, but I did not check with the courts to see what they had scheduled for that day.
and, I mean, there's 2 pieces to it. One, county employees will be able to attend at that point, but then also the public's not trying to come in through the west entrance while
Yeah.
somebody's reading the Declaration of Independence. Be a little awkward.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any questions or concerns? I think it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, it is a
Yeah,
good
I think
idea.
it's a good idea, because we've been working with Samson on, depending upon where this construction's gonna be over there, and Jimmy said, I'll do whatever I gotta do the day before, if I gotta move fence, I gotta this, I gotta that. He said, we can, not impede what, they were wanting to do on that front,
Yeah,
so, yeah.
he's been super great. So,
Yeah.
yeah, if that's something you guys would consider, that would be fabulous.
Yeah.
So I would move to approve Platte County Resolution 2026-09, a resolution approving a temporary closure of the county offices on July 8th, 2026.
Second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve Platte County Resolution 2026-09, a resolution approving the temporary closures of the county offices. Is there any further discussion?
The closure, just as a note, so everybody knows, one of the whereases is that this year marks the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, and the American Legion Post 10 will be reading the Declaration on the courthouse steps on July 8th, 26, beginning at 3:30 p.m. That's it.
So we close at 3:00.
Yes,
So
and the
basically
Platte County
2 hour
offices shall
closure.
be closed at 3 p.m. on Wednesday to facilitate.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, Christie.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, I appreciate the time.
Okay, we have Mr. Tom Bramlett with the Lions Club.
Thank you.
Morning, Tom.
Good morning. Visuals for this morning.
Ah,
Hand drawn.
Oh, thank you for coming in.
So please bear with.
I like a good map.
Well,
Good
there you go.
hand-drawn map.
So, this is the Lion's Den Part 2. Part 1, was a grand scheme that didn't gel as well as it probably should have. There was too many parts that could be stolen, wrecked, damaged, whatever. So what we've done is we went back and we said, what can we do this time to hopefully make something where it could be utilized during the fair, and we have other times that the fairgrounds is being used for children to be able to play and enjoy that little area. Most of it's still in place. The fences are there. We have I haven't checked, but I think the cornhole game thing is intact. We've got to get some more bags, and the ladder toss is metal, so they would have a hard time trying to demolish that. Other than that, they worked us over pretty good. What we're trying to come up with is something that would be more durable. If you'll notice, there's up at the top of your page, They would be to the west in that, okay, the gates, and then just go straight through. There's the climbing wall, and what it would amount to is just like a 7-foot wall that would have handholds where the little munchkins can climb up the wall. And
That's this one.
no,
Right up here.
turn it so it's there.
Oh, I see it,
Okay,
okay.
yeah. And I
Is this to scale?
exactly the scale. Anyway,
Close enough.
you know, here you go.
That's where Jeff's struggling right now. He's used to construction plans to scale.
Good enough to build.
No, it is not to scale. There, how's that? Anyway, so when I go around town, I always look for things that might be usable, and I found some old Trex, and we now have some old Trex, so we don't have to worry about having splinters or whatever else in the wood when the kids climb up. So that's gonna be great for us. And there's next to it, there's a tetherball, and we scavenged that out of the fairgrounds. They already had it out there, so it's just going to be repurposed. And it was sitting back in the back. Nothing goes without my looking. So anyway, no, I was offered that and I took it. Also, if you notice, there's some stairs. The stairs used to be to a plinko, and the whomever destroyed everything else, destroyed the plexiglass that was on the plinko board. They after they got through jamming everything they could into the area between the plexiglass and the paneling. So we're gonna refigure that into a whack-a-chicken. And what it amounts to is use the same board, same steps up. There's gonna be a tube, a 4-inch plastic tube, and someone on top is gonna drop one of those squeaking chickens down, and they're gonna say, okay, and then someone down at the bottom is gonna try to hit it with a bat. And hopefully, if they hit it, the chicken will go squeak. Anyway, we're hoping that's a little less destructible than what we had before, and hopefully it'll be some fun. The one on the going in the side that looks the ones with the circles, that's my rendition of tires. Okay, and what it amounts to, it just is pretty much just like it's gonna have an up and a down, or an up and a down, whichever side you're gonna get on. And it's gonna have 9 tires on each side. And the kids are gonna climb up the tires, and then, just whatever they do, like a monkey, like a, little gym type thing. But it's gonna be tires, and they're gonna have a hard time destroying those. Next to it is going to the east. There's going to be a rope, one of those cargo ropes, and it's going to be like 6 foot by maybe 7 or 8 foot, probably 8 foot. And it'll be a metal on top. It's going to be a square metal tube on top that caused me some pop to scrounge out of Bobby McLean, and so that'll be on the top part, and that should be strong enough to withhold anybody that's going to be climbing on it, because we know that there's going to be older kids that are probably going to try to climb up on it. And it'll also, on the edges, they're going to have those little climbing clamps, that clip in.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can utilize those to take the rope, the climbing ropes down when they're not being used. Next to it, there's one of the existing structures is we call it Woody's game, but it's the one, I don't know what I named it. It's Hole in the Wall, and it's the one where you have 2 ropes, and there's a circle in the middle, and it's got a golf ball, and you try to negotiate it up without having the ball go into the holes
Oh,
that
yeah.
are drilled into that pattern, into that plywood, and there's one on each side, there's two of those this person can do. And I don't know what it's gonna cost me for the wire that I'm gonna try to use, because one of the commissioners has offered to have us utilize some of the
Something.
stronger stuff that
Hang
Ian
off of.
said, I've got some stuff that might work a whole lot better than the cord we used. So that might be some more, who knows, it might be
It's got a 110
bottle
outlet on it.
line or something like that. I don't know what the cost is gonna be on that. But anyway, what we've done is, we're trying to do this as best, as a Lions Club. I did go to the Fair Board earlier, and they authorized that, that they would put in $600 towards the cost. My guess, when I was initially doing it, it's gonna run around $1,200. In other words, we wanna have it as a project, but yet this time we want the county to have a little bit of skin in the game. Because we had an old show box that we wanted stuff to be locked up in, and it didn't seem to ever be locked up. And because of that, there was a Connect 4 game that we had purchased that had those little round plastic circles that were spread out through the county. I don't know where they all are now, but anyway, so of those, there's also in the corner, there's gonna be a monkey bars. And the monkey bars are gonna be made out of 4x4 and full thick 2x6s that I'm gonna get from Dawson's. So they'll be more rigid and hold up better. The ring toss, again, I'm gonna utilize that string that hopefully I can grab from Ian. Other than that, basketball court, it stays the same. I did contact Molly Kyle, and she is trying to work with her 4-H group to be able to help us. What I'd like them to do is I'd like them to be the painters. Some of that needs to be repainted and upgraded, and maybe drill some holes for those little handholds for the climbing wall. And what we want to do is it would be a good project for them, and it would help us out too, because I'm not one of the youngest Lions, but I'm not by far the oldest. So I guess that's really all that, I don't know exactly what you want more from me or of me right now. So any questions?
Looks like a good project, and I think
Well,
it's.
hopefully it will be. We've tried to help out with the fair in several different ways. We've got the bingo organized. We don't pay for the prizes, but we organize the event for 3 nights. We also we're instrumental in that the carnival night. We do the tractor pull, where it's a little kid's tractor pull that we do for the kids 4 through 12. And then also we have the barrel train that's immensely popular. So we're trying to add something to the community that so it'll be better. And
So would most of this stuff just be set up during fair time?
it doesn't have to be. The only thing that won't really be, what I would like to see happen is someone, by the way, I think that 4-H kids are gonna make the cornhole bags. And so we're hoping that the stuff that can walk away will be put in the box, that we have out there and locked up. And then they would go to the fair board, not the fair board, but the fair office, Jenny, and ask for the key to get inside to get the stuff, the chickens and whatever else
With
that
the
are
signage.
there. So that would be, other than that, the only other thing that would really have a problem of damage or, would be that climbing rope. And like I said, if you could put that on those, so it's an easy takedown or to put up, then the person can do it. We don't wanna have the county maintenance have to worry about much of anything. I know we're gonna have to have the weeds probably taken care of one way or the other because they're starting to get up there a bit. But other than that, we wanna have it so it's self-sustaining.
Well, does this stuff get used by, other people that go out there for organization stuff during the year other than fair much? I mean, are there other things?
I'm sure, I really don't know,
Like
but I'm
family
sure they
picnics
do.
or-
If they're there and it's the kids are looking for something to do,
Right.
then, that's why we have, the climbing wall will be there. The monkey bars will always be up.
Mm-hmm.
The tire thing will always be up.
Right.
Most likely that game thing where they do that will be in place. Also, the ring toss where you take the ring and you try to get it on the hook.
Mm-hmm.
That will always be there. So there'll probably be the basketball courts. So most everything, well, more than half of the stuff will always be there
Right.
for anybody who wants to use it.
Okay.
And I'm not, we're not asking for any money other than what we've, when they've been promised by the county fair board. But we just, Ian asked me if I could come in and kind of discuss it with you guys since, you're kind of in charge of all this stuff, so.
And then some of the issues out there, like the vandalism and stuff like that, you go, that's not okay at all at any point. But also to point out that you guys have done a lot of work. I really appreciate you guys doing that stuff. That is a huge event at fair and other times. The kids, that's where everybody is. And so having a presence there and having something that's productive for the kids to do is awesome. This is by far, the line for the bounce house gets to be 5 long and then they go over the lines and they stay in the lines. And so I think you guys do a really
Well, thank
big
you.
service for the community.
We're a service organization and we try to do things that, to assist and I've always been kind of, on the strong side of the youngsters, of the more youth type stuff. So, anyway. Questions?
Well, the whole fair to me is centered around kids.
Yeah.
It's not, the adults moderate and take care of the business side of it and, that kind of thing, but the fair itself's about kids and so is this.
My eventual goal would be to have the tractor pull go statewide.
Yeah.
And I would like to see other counties get involved with miniature or the youth tractor pull and have a state pull-off at either the state fair or if they don't want to do it, one of the Cheyenne or Casper fairs. But and then they have there's like 17 states now that have, that are organized where they have a state pull-off and then all the people who qualify can have the opportunity to go to the Corn Palace in Mitchell, South Dakota for a national pull-off if they so chose. And that's what I'd like to do. It just, I get myself in the way all the time of doing it. I just have to put more effort into it. But we bought Kevin Teton built us the tractor, a tractor and the sled. And we bought a little tractor because the tractor we had wouldn't utilize up the fourth year-olds up to about the 9-year-olds. So we went to the middle of Nebraska and bought a little tractor that was beefed up and because they have to really have a lot of extra stuff put on them because of all the torque and it happens to those things. But anyway, our goal would be to make it more than just, a local event. So.
I've been having Quinn, there's some hills at the house and Quinn's excited about riding a bike, so When you go right up the hill, you can't come out of fourth gear though. So we're getting you ready for the tractor pull.
All right, well, any other questions then?
Thanks, Tom.
You bet.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
guys.
Okay, we'll move on to public health. Good morning.
How are you guys?
Good.
Benny?
Come up front so you can see me.
So, public health, we talked about it briefly, I don't know, meeting ago, 2 meetings ago. Just the presentation's a little different for public health, where this first page in your book shows general fund appropriations. And then the second page shows grant appropriations. And then the third page is the actual salary breakdown. This is helpful, not just for my office, but I think everybody's understanding of how these positions are funded. Some are fully grant funded, some are partially, some are fully general fund. Like the admin assistant is fully general fund funded. The maternal health nurse gets general fund appropriation. And then you remember, we talked about the stipends, I think 2 years ago, 1 year ago,
2 years ago.
flies.
Wow.
But in consultation with Penny, you know, the TANF and MHC stipends, proposed to reduce those by $100 per month to make sure that those programs,
The direct care services.
Yep. the direct care services are able to be administered still. The big one, and probably the largest topic of conversation today, will be the FRC coordinator and what we do, because that was previously fully grant funded between the FRC grant, Family Resource Center, and CSBG Community Service Block Grant. FRC is going away October 1. So we have funding through September 30th. So what we're proposing is, we've received, frankly, I mean, public health does a lot of excellent things, but I think I've heard more community engagement on the FRC because it's hitting a group of the population. It's affecting a group of the population that does need help. And so it's also encouraged folks who live in the county to donate money to it, which is a testament, I think, to you and to Julie, certainly.
Just dropped a donation check off this morning.
Perfect timing. So Penny had asked for $15,000 to maintain that person on full-time. So what we were able to work out is the general fund would support $775 a month in salary. The opioid settlement funds would be $625 a month, because we estimated roughly a third of her caseload are folks that have some sort of opioid dependency. And so we'll need some reporting to show that that's what we're going towards helping to solve. But you see in my recommendation, I had said 625 from the general fund, and then this tentative is 775. So in working with Penny, we're able to reduce the state reimbursement. I haven't put it in here quite yet, but we can reduce that to 93,000. And so it saves us. So basically the difference in the state reimbursement would help offset to make sure that the FRC position maintains the same salary.
So the 625 would go to 725,
775.
775.
Because you see right now, what was recommended would actually be a reduction in pay. And in order to avoid that, wanted to see if we could bump up the general fund a little bit. So the important news, that does not change the overall appropriation for public health. We just moved it from one area to the other, if that makes sense.
I also need to announce too, we found out this morning that we did receive another $10,000 in additional funding from the Wyoming Community Foundation again for the FRC. We just got a notification of that today. So that will continue the direct care services portion for the Family Resource Center. I also will have another private donor that will be giving us some funds to use for some direct care services and potentially some salary if needed, but, excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. But I wanted to figure out what you all were going to allow before we finish the numbers with those people. So, and then I'm also working with Jeremy Haraldson and the state grant office on getting more funding for the Family Resource Center. Haven't heard anything more on that. And then with that funding going away in September, excuse me, I don't know what's going on this morning.
You just choked up to see it.
You guys are making me nervous. Also, our community prevention grant has a potential, that work plan gets turned in at the end of June, but there's a potential that we can use some of that funding to continue to pay rent for that facility over the next biennium as well. They so far have approved it, but we won't know that for sure until June 30th. But that would also help pay that rent to keep the doors open to where that office would not have to come back to public health. We can keep the center open.
That rent over there, that's in Charlottesville building on the corner,
Yes.
correct? Okay. Is that a month-to-month thing, or do you have a lease?
We have a lease through September 30th.
Okay,
But once we know what's going on with the community prevention grant,
uh-huh.
we're going to increase, or, re-up that lease if they approve that $900 a month
I
for rent.
understand. Okay,
Also, we do have a little bit of extra funding that we have in the Wyoming Children's Trust Fund that we are looking to spend. And I'm also waiting on approval from them to see if I could extend that pay before October 1, a lease agreement to continue to keep that facility open past September 30th, but I haven't gotten approval back on that yet. So I've got 2 irons in the fire yet about the rent that I don't have approval for yet, but are in the making.
similar to restricted use funds, you can't take it out of this bucket
Right.
and put it into
Yes,
this
yes,
bucket.
can't
even though
double dip
this
and you
bucket
can't.
needs it, and
Uh-huh.
you can only do, okay.
Yeah, because the funding for Wyoming Children's Trust Fund has to be spent by September 30th. But I'm not sure if they will allow me to pay an extended lease past that, so I'm just waiting for approval on that.
Okay.
Otherwise, if we don't get funding approvals for both of those, Julie would then come back to my office and she would be in one of our offices over there, and then we would have to shut the doors down on that. But she would still be able to provide the services just in our location. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but
Would that change the services much because of the location?
it shouldn't
as far
change
as
the
the
services
public's
at
concerned?
all, but sometimes it makes it difficult for people to walk into public
That's where I
health
was going.
because there is public health,
Because this is separate from, and they feel like, okay,
Yes.
nobody's watching me go in
nobody's watching me
here.
go in.
Okay,
Yeah, so hopefully both of those 2 things will pan out, but we'll see.
so, okay, but public benefit could be changed if it had to move. Okay,
They can still get those services, they just would come in a different location.
yeah. Thank you.
And we worked really hard to keep that, get that ball rolling, and we're starting to have momentum, and for, them to pull the funding on us is pretty heartbreaking, but we'll figure out a way to keep it going.
Yeah.
So that
It's tough.
Yes.
the base line is, the only general fund spending for the FRC would be this $775 a month, should you approve it. Because the operations are covered
Mhm.
by grants,
Mhm.
and then the direct care services by donations.
Mhm.
So that would be the general fund input, is $775 a month. Any thoughts?
So the majority of the change in the overall budget would be
Grants.
the salaries would, general fund requirement for the salaries would change, and then the state reimbursement changes.
And that currently will be, like, right now, I have that open state position as well, so until I fill that money will just be sitting there.
Holding, yeah.
Mhm.
The only other, Steve, to your question, the only other change in general fund from last year would be just a travel car to try to replace one that,
And your request for vaccines is going down from last
Just
year.
a little bit, and the only reason for that is because we're changing our focus on that. As you all know, public health doesn't have great public support throughout the United States right now because of everything that's going on. There's a ton of vaccine hesitancy. So we are just kind of shifting our focus a little bit. And also with the COVID, we have a certain demographic that wants that, and then nobody else does. So we want to focus on getting that demographic covered. Plus, there are a couple of other entities here in town that are now starting to offer COVID. And I don't want to spend funds on COVID and then have our stock, county funds on that, have our stock come in and then it expire and then we just have to waste it. So if we reduce that a little bit, but then I'm gonna pick up Capvaxive, which is a pneumococcal vaccine for older persons, because we've had a ton of requests for that. So I just kind of want to, and COVID is a lot more expensive than the Capvaxive. So I can drop the COVID a little bit, but bring the Capvaxive up, and then that's why there's that little bit of a drop in that. We're just changing the focus of our services.
That's good.
And then, on the new equipment line item, 25,000,
The new car.
that's for the car.
That's the deal, okay.
Tight, what can you do?
I know, exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
and we're just trying to be as, flexible with our funding, just so we can continue those direct care services. And, the donors that we've had have been really great. You guys have been super supportive, and I really appreciate that. We try to be as fiscally responsible as possible. That's why we want to I don't want to be spending county funds on vaccines that are going to waste and I'm going to have to just throw in the garbage. So we're trying to, figure out which ones we have the request for. Of course, we do all childhood, but our adult population is just a little bit different.
Yeah.
I like hearing that there's local philanthropists that wanna help.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great. It's great.
That's,
Mhm. Yeah.
that means that awareness is out there.
Yes, yeah, and like I said, we've gotten the ball rolling with that, and then, then of course, the state pulls those funds, and then
Yeah.
we're like, okay, and then like, oh, figure it out, okay,
Yeah.
well, we're trying,
Good luck.
yeah.
From Cheyenne, it's easy for them to look at
Yes.
us and say, figure it out.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Everybody's setting over here.
So that's
Do you
really
guys
about
have
it.
any other
It's,
questions or concerns?
so on the grants, the reason they're all lumped, I talked to Penny about this, but when we move to YCATs, which the budget won't be moved over on July 1st, we're rolling out vehicle registration, tax payments, things like that, July 1. But the financials will move out a little bit later. Because we're trying to get some specificity in our chart of accounts, like, that's why there will be a preparedness salary benefit line and an operations line for that grant. But trying to build some specificity, so I've gotta go back and break them out to get that. Currently, state grants and federal grants are in two different departments, and they're all lumped together. So if it's a federal grant for public health, federal grant for road and bridge, it's in the same department. What I'm seeking to do is, if it's a public health grant, it goes in the public health department, but the first two numbers of the code will be either 12 or 13, which indicates if it's a state or grant.
Oh,
So we can run a report that says, here's all the state funds we received, federal funds received. But the department, to me, is important to say, this is the actual cost to run public health.
right.
Makes it a lot easier for me to look at too, because I already have 10 grants that I'm trying to manage. And so when they're all just mine and I don't have to keep, it makes it a lot easier for me to look at too.
Break them out.
Know
and make
exactly where I'm at.
accounts.
Okay, any other questions, concerns about public health budget?
No.
Do you have anything else for us today, Penny?
No, I don't think so. Just wanted to tell you about that new grant that we got and that we keep working on getting more.
I do think,
Appreciate your efforts.
What's that?
Appreciate your efforts.
maybe not to beat the dead horse, but on vaccines, a lot of it is mandated by
Yeah.
state and federal government that they have to carry.
Yeah, that we have to carry certain vaccines.
So some of it's not even optional.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember going through that.
Especially even some of the ones that we don't even give. They're like, you have to have that. I'm like, that's such a waste when I can try to get it from someone else. But they're being a little bit more lenient about that now. But
You gotta play the game.
gotta play the game sometimes, yeah, for sure.
But I do want to commend Penny because, I mean, I think all my colleagues work hard, but Penny definitely works the hardest to make sure that her programs stay alive and afloat. Applying for grants left and right, getting private donations.
You don't need to hear it again, but you're a rock star. I really appreciate
Thank
you
you.
doing it. You really are.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I do really appreciate you guys' continued support as well, so.
And I think
You've
they all
got a
are,
lot
by
of
the way.
ingredients that go into yours that
Yes.
some of the others don't have. You know, you deal with feds, you deal with states,
And
this law says you gotta do that, and that one, yeah.
not to give away too many secrets here, but the secret weapon really is Jackie.
Yes, she is, it's all her, it's all her.
She,
It's all her.
that is like the
That's right.
most organized, nicest person.
She's my right-hand gal, for sure.
All right, thanks, Penny.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Have a great day.
Okay, we have Jill Kaufman on our agenda. Good morning.
Good morning. I have some handouts for you, and I apologize for not getting them to you sooner, but I was working last night. Hey,
Hey, good morning.
what I'm going to share with you today, a lot of this you've probably already heard because we've been in here before, sharing what's going on, but I wanted to give you some more information of the information that is out on our election systems. I'll just say that I appreciate you guys having me here. Malcolm, thank you for putting me on the schedule. The citizens of Platte County deserve elections that are verifiably secure, fully compliant with the law, and beyond a reasonable doubt to be certified. Today, that standard is not quite being met. Platte County, like other counties in Wyoming, deploy the ES&S election voting system, which is the version 6.0. This system is riddled with certification deficiencies that render it unlawful for the use under Wyoming statutes and incompatible with the Wyoming Constitution's demand for the purity of elections. Allow me to name just some of the few critical certification and security failures. In the back, you'll see there's attachments that verify what I'm talking about. The first one is the Dell Latitude 3500 laptops. They are in use but are not certified under the EVS, which stands for Election Voting System 6.0.6.0. The Oki 712 Ballot on Demand printers that are used are not certified with this system as well. The sister USB duplicator and sanitizer devices are certified for only ClearVote components and have zero certification for security or compatibility with our versions. These systems run Microsoft Windows 10. That extended support ended in October of 2025, and there's been no further security patches or updates that are available from Microsoft without a paid extended security update. And I went on the website and I have not seen any updates to any of our systems in the state. The system was certified under the outdated Voluntary Voting Guidelines, which stands for VVSG 1.0. The Wyoming has no approved pathway for a VVSG, which was a recent executive order directs the Election Assistance Commission, which stands for EAC, to strengthen, standardize, and explicitly directs the EAC to recommend the VVSG 2.0 and issue guidance to strengthen election system standards. Yet we remain locked in the old framework. In one of the chapters of the VVSG 7.4.2, it states, the voting system shall deploy protection against the many forms of threat to which they may be exposed, such as a file and macroviruses, worms, Trojan horses, logic bombs. Vendors shall develop and document the procedures to be followed to ensure that such protection is maintained in a current status. Wyoming's ES&S systems have no antivirus updates since Engineering Order 1141, which was June 8th of 2022. This is not a minor compliance issue. It is a catastrophic security failure and a direct violation of Wyoming Law 22-11-103, which mandates that every electronic voting system adopted for use in Wyoming must letter D, Romanet I, proof of certification by the U.S. EAC Commission, and letter D, Romanet II, proof that it meets the voluntary voting guidelines adopted by the EAC. These systems do not meet those requirements, and they are not fully certified nor updatable. They are uncertified, uncertifiable, and inherently untrustworthy. We are voting on primarily owned private proprietary electronic voting machines with secret hardware, secret software, secret source code that is kept overseas, and secret updates and contracts that have been redacted throughout. Not one county has proven that election voting systems count the votes according to what the voters have cast. They have no true audits out there, and no one can read a barcode. The Wyoming Constitution, Article 6, requires that the legislature to secure the purity of elections and guard against abuses. Equipment plagued by uncertifiable components, unsupported operating system, and years without malware protection cannot possibly satisfy the constitutional command. Even the ES&S disclaimer in the Elections Management Guidelines states, quote, in accordance with the United States Elections Assistance Commission, EAC, Testing and Certification Program Manual, version 2.0, ES&S hereby notifies the purchaser that any changes or modifications to an EAC-approved voting system which have not been tested and certified by the EAC will be void, and the EAC certification for each such approved voting system. None of ours have been updated and certified. Wyoming statutes give this board a clear power of authority. Wyoming Statute 2210-102, the Board of the County Commissioners may adopt for use in any precinct a type of voting machine meeting the standards specified. Wyoming Statute 11-102 also states the Board of County Commissioners of each county may adopt an electronic voting system authorized by law. You do have the authority and the duty to act. If the intent by the legislature was to put the voting machines or tabulators to be used in each county, they would have put the word shall instead of may. The word may is used, allowing the decision to lie on the commissioners. Federal standards in direct conflict with the Wyoming Constitution. We respectfully recommend the Platte County Board of Commissioners, under our authority of the Wyoming Constitution, Article 1, Section 1, where it says power is inherent to the people. And all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and happiness. For the advancement of these ends, they have at all times an inalienable and indefeasible right to alter, reform, or abolish the government in such a manner as they may think proper. So we are asking merely the immediate removal of all ES&S, EVS 6.0 systems and associated uncertified components from any and all Platte County elections. We also direct the permanent adoption of hand counting paper ballots for all future elections conducted in public view with bipartisan observers, strict chain of custody, and rigorous audits. Hand count paper ballots are a gold standard. They're transparent, audible, independent of proprietary software and unsupported operating systems, and uncertifiable hardware. They have worked reliably for hundreds of generations and continue to do so in many jurisdictions, prioritize verification integrity over simply convenience. They restore public trust because every citizen can see and understand the process. We are prepared to provide documentation, expert witness, sample procedures from successful hand count jurisdictions, and full assistance with a smooth transition. The people of Platte County and the Wyoming Constitution requires elections of unquestionable purity. Continued use of these compromised systems exposes every election to unacceptable risk and erodes the foundation of our republic. This board has both the legal and authority and the moral duty to act decisively, we urge you to lead with courage and restore the trust in our electoral process. I appreciate your time and look forward for any questions that you may have. I have supporting documentation that you see and highlighted where the information came from. Couple of other things I wanted to add, and then I'll be glad to take any of your questions. I just went on the website of EAC to look for updated engineering change orders, and I looked at it from the date of the last election in 2024 up until now. There's been only 3, but none of them were updating the Windows antivirus or Trojan horses. The other thing is I have your contract with the software and with the Platte County Secretary, or with the Secretary of State in Platte County. And one of the articles, it says responsibilities of the county, and it goes to letter C. It says the county has a responsibility for existing voting machines and equipment purchased by the county to ensure the voting systems and equipment, and to assume responsibility for the proper handling, storage, and future operation and future replacement of voting equipment. One other thing that come out to mind, it says in letter I, to ensure that the uniformity be established statewide by the contract is maintained to ensure that all appropriate upgrades are implemented. I have more information if you're interested. I have the contracts here if you'd like to see them, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer any.
Thank you. I don't think I have any questions at this time.
I have to ask somebody, I mean, I think it's well put together. I don't know about the ins, we don't know about the ins and outs of which computer systems to use and stuff like that, or whether or not they've been updated, so I'd have to go find that out. But well put together.
Well, I hope you look more information. I mean, we're just asking you to follow the law.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
all that it is, and we are not right now with these machines. And just bringing that to your attention because we want to protect our Platte County citizens' vote.
I agree. We've had a couple of examples of how things can go poorly, haven't we?
Do you have any questions, Joe?
I don't.
Okay.
I have homework.
Ben? I remember we talked about this before you were elected, so I know you were 100% on board. So anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to maintenance department. Jim?
Here you go.
I'm gonna yield here. So I brought Ryan with Fisher Roofing today, so he can answer y'all's questions on, both the Coleman Building and, the library. So I'll let him start.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Ryan with Fisher Roofing.
Yeah, I know you.
Me and Jim have been talking about the Coleman Building, and now this library deal just occurred. So I'll fill you in kind of what my opinion is, and then I'll answer any questions you have. I did look at the library this morning as far as the water damage from the storm. I'll start with the Coleman Building. And in my opinion, I don't think you need to spend any money on the Coleman Building. I mean, the roof is in decent shape. My guys fixed the leak. One of the reasons that it leaked in this last hailstorm is you guys currently had some HVAC work done. And what happened was the pitch pans where they run all their wires and all the stuff, they put the stuff in there, but they didn't put enough of it in there. So what happened was when the heat hit it, it fell down, and then when it rained, you get that much rain, it filled the pitch pans up and just went through the pitch pans. Otherwise, the roof would have been solid. And in my opinion, if you do some work to it, spend a little bit of the money, I mean, get 5 years probably out of it, barring you don't have any hailstorms. So, I mean, I don't really think it's in that bad a shape to spend the money to replace it. Now, I know it's kind of been a nuisance, but we feel that we've got them all, and 90% of the roof is in good shape. As far as the ductwork goes, Jim had mentioned worried about the condensation on the ductwork. You're not going to improve anything by insulating the roof. Besides that, it's it's super, super expensive. So you can spend 1/16 of the cost and have them wrapped in insulation, all the ductwork, and be done. As far as the library building goes, it's time it needs a new roof. I have all this stuff. This is all the repairs and everything that's been done. I think it starts in 1977.
I think that's a mystery.
So anyway, if you look on there, this roof the library roof has never been replaced all in one shot since 1977, and I know that because I actually worked on this roof, or the library roof, when I was working in the field, and so I know from the mid 80s that nobody's worked on it except for us, so it's never been completely redone. The sections there in the 2018, 2019, those were when we were having problems with the skylight leaking on that section of the library. There wasn't one leak in this storm that happened on that section. But all the sections tie into one another, and if you're gonna do that big of a project, you might as well get rid of all of it and start from scratch. A lot of the leaks, and the majority of the leaks on the library, were caused because the hail beat all the leaves and the twigs and everything off, and they clogged the drains. So the drains plugged up and backflowed. There was one major leak that was caused from the roof that is now fixed. So it's not like you need to make an immediate decision. It should hold for 2 or 3 months at least with what we did. So you shouldn't have any more problems with it. But the majority of them, came from the drains. But the far, I get lost in directions when I'm in Wheatland. Towards the road, that section is the worst. So where the skylight's at, that section didn't leak at all. You get closer to the road, and then that's where all the leaks started, which hasn't been touched on my sheet that section hasn't been touched for quite a while. The other thing is the roof doesn't drain very well. Whoever the architect was that designed it wasn't a roofer. So it just doesn't drain very well, but the one option you have is to put what they call a taper system on it, which is super expensive. I don't think you need to do that. I think that we can fix it by using cues, what we call, it's a tapered insulation, but you're only talking 20 pieces instead of 500 pieces to taper that water to the drains to get it to drain better, so you don't have that issue in the future.
So even if you get it tapered towards the drains, the whole issue was the drains plugged up, right?
Yeah, we had one seam on our material that failed along that section, and that's another reason that it leaked. But the two majority big leaks were the majority of the water came from, actually, that's why there was that much water, because of drains. If you have a roof leak, you may get a spot on the floor, but you're not gonna get that much water in the basement unless all the water's flowing to the drains. And that's what happened. They plugged up from all the leaves and twigs from the hail hitting it, and then it backed up just like your sewer or anything else. So that was the issue there. I did look at the water damage this morning. We have a full-scale restoration business, been doing it forever. I'm not too concerned. Yeah, it got wet. Jim informed me that they are gonna tear the ceiling down in the one room that they just did. What do you call it?
The Wyoming room.
Wyoming room. So that would be a good time just to investigate it, to appease everybody. We can spray some microband up there, which will kill any mold or anything that, that's wet. So, but other than that, as far as doing a bunch of other stuff, I really don't think you need to. I think you'd be good, especially if you tear the ceiling out and get some air to it. But the library roof is the main concern. If you're gonna spend any money, I would do it on the library.
Ryan, that roof is 1977 old, that's 49 years.
Well, there's been stuff that's been done to that.
It's had some Band-Aids on it, but where I'm leading up to is it something that we should think about doing an entirely different product going forward, like an EPDM, something to that effect, or?
I'm glad you said that. But we don't install EPDM.
I didn't know that, but
My dad refuses to put it on.
Okay.
And he's kind of been out of the business. He's 76, but he still comes into the office and tells me what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So EPDM is 60 mils thick,
I know what
right?
it is, yeah.
So and you put it over glue. This is our material, which is Duragum, which is on the courthouse. We just put it on for Dan Breck. It's all over Wheatland. It's on the police station. It's on the furniture store. It's on the swimming pool. It just holds up. EPDM is 60 mils thick. That's 180. Theirs is put down. EPDM is put down with glue. So you have a substrate like an insulation board, and you have glue, and then the 60 mil EPDM goes over that. Our system, which would go on the library, is you put the insulation down, same substrate, except it's hot mopped with hot asphalt everywhere with a base sheet, and then that is heat welded to that. So not only do you have the 180 mils, you also have a fully tarred roof. They just last
Is it
forever.
Well,
sheets?
heat welding is better than glue anyway.
Yeah, and the thing about EPDM is the rubber itself holds up tremendously in hail. But what happens is they put it on what we call a wood fiber insulation board that's 4x8 sheet. And what happens is the stones hit the rubber and it detaches it from the glue. So now you got a blow off problem, and that's why insurance companies replace them left and right. It's not because it actually hurt the EPDM, it's because it hurt all the insulation. Now you have 50% of the roof that's detached. I don't care if baseballs hit this.
Does it come in sheets?
Yeah. Well, no, it comes in, it actually comes in 33-inch rolls
Okay.
by 33 feet long.
Then you lap it like some
Yeah,
amount?
so you've got a 4-inch lap that's heat welded as well.
Okay.
But the majority of the roll is heat welded with big wagon torches. It has 7 torches on it that's actually heat welded to the asphalt. So it ain't blowing off either.
Yeah.
So, in the library would include re-leading all the drains, which need to be done. Over time, what happens is that there's lead clamps, or there's clamps on there, and the clamp attaches to the lead. Well, that seal breaks. And so if you do have a backup, that's why. If they're leaded brand new and you have a backup, it's gonna back up onto the roof and not back up through the drain.
Yeah.
Oh, but you lose that over time. You lose that connection. So
I've seen
that's
that.
about all I got. If you got
Yeah,
any more questions, what's that?
I said, I've seen that happen, not from water coming out, but when that was used in venting, you get gas coming
We
out.
see it all the time on schools. They throw soccer balls up there and it goes in the drain, or they throw their pop cans up there, or footballs or whatever, and it sticks in the drain, and they got a major issue. So, it's pretty common, actually.
So your recommendation would be leave the Coleman building as is?
I would save money.
And
My guys are in Wheatland all the time for them to stop by, and that's the beauty about the system that's on there, is that it's such an easy fix. If you have a small leak somewhere, it takes the guys 15 minutes to fix it. And, if I wouldn't be telling you that because Jim calls me all the time when it leaks, and I don't want to send my guys up here to fix it. So it's really not in bad shape. I mean, if I was gonna spend the money, I would save the money on the Coleman building and let it go. I mean, not to say that you shouldn't do anything. I mean, we can coat it and do some minor repairs, but you're looking at $7,000 instead of $45,000. And you're gonna get another 5 years at least.
How many years you gotta have a new roof?
Only as good as the contractor to put it on.
50 for a library?
What's that?
50 for the library.
Well, like I said, I can give you a 100-year, I can give you a lifetime warranty, but when I'm not around to take care of it,
Yeah.
and that's the other thing about EPDM too. Most of these contractors, they're buying the warranty from the manufacturer.
Right.
So if Jim calls them and they have to come fix it, they get paid. They get paid from the manufacturer to do it. If Jim calls me, it's costing me money to come up here. I don't want it to
Yeah.
leak.
My point is that, so if the roof lasts 40 years or whatever, if you guys, you put a really good roof on, $7,000 for 5 years, maybe that's not I'm trying to go,
I'm just
Yeah,
saying
I-
5 years to be safe on my end. That roof is not gonna catastrophically fail for 10 plus,
yeah,
to where you have to do it. It has slope to it, which means the water's not ponding up there. There's a few issues because there's so much mechanical and stuff going on up there. That's the only place it's gonna leak.
yeah.
The only place it's gonna leak. Like I said, I don't like Jim calling me, telling me the Coleman building's leaking again.
How much do you think the library repair is gonna cost?
You'd be about 60,000.
The water damage in the building?
1,500 max.
1,500 to get everything mopped up?
In-house,
Yeah.
I mean, with Jim and those guys taking the ceiling out, basically what my guys are gonna do, you can't fix what you can't see. So once they get the ceiling out, like I told Jim before the meeting, if we do happen to run into a big spot of wet insulation, obviously it has to come out. But I don't think you're gonna see that from what I saw this morning. And then just by spraying the microban, it doesn't smell musty in there. It doesn't smell moldy, it doesn't, which is good. And so by these guys tearing that out and getting the air to it and spraying a little bit of microban and replacing the insulation that's wet, you're good. I mean, my guys for a day. And my estimate on the 60,000 is based off, if the insurance company came in here right now and they paid for the library roof, that's exactly where they're gonna be,
Just based on square footage.
based on square footage. Yeah. So I'll leave the Coleman building alone and fix the issues on the library.
And you say the library's good for probably 3
Yeah,
years.
you don't need to make a decision right now. I mean, I can't promise you if you get a massive rainstorm, you're not gonna have a drip or two, but the big leak was fixed and the drains are unplugged. So you shouldn't have any issues.
The catastrophic part was plugged drains, it wasn't the.
That was the major part of the leaks. And the leak on the Coleman building was only because of the pitch pans.
Well, and any roof's made to shed water, not to hold it. It's not for goldfish.
That's the other thing about the Coleman building. If that roof was dead flat, I would be a little more afraid of not doing something to it right now.
That's
But
kind
it
of
drains.
from west to east, it isn't bad.
No, it drains water. That's one of the reasons it's held up as long as it has.
Yeah.
Because it sheds water. And that's another reason you're not gonna have a catastrophic failure because the water all drains off the roof. As soon as the rainstorm's over, it's done.
And there's no trees around it?
110%, and it has no drains.
Yeah.
It's got a gutter system in the back,
Yeah.
so,
So can you get us a estimate on it?
sure. Yep.
What we need to do on the library?
Yep.
We've had other issues with the library over, we've had honey running down the interior walls in the library.
Well, I fought it for a long time, and me and Jim fought the skylight for a long time as far as, we were to the point that we were gonna rip it out of there, and then my dad got involved and said, it's not the skylight, it's the roof, fix it. So, we ended up getting it, it took us a while to chase it and find what was going on, but we got it figured out now. But like I said, all those, library roof is kind of hodgepodges of different sections, and so if you're gonna do it, you might as well do the whole thing. So I can get that to Jim, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, I think then we'd have some numbers to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep,
So,
yep. You guys got any more questions?
I just am of a mind that, the more Band-Aids you put on bullet wounds, you're still gonna leak.
That's exactly where I'm at. That's exactly where I'm at.
I mean,
especially that old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what'd we lose materials wise in there, books wise, yada, 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 what was that number?
2 books.
Hey,
yeah.
so it wasn't like a catastrophic bunch of books that can't find anymore, can't get, okay.
That's what Julie had told me last week, was she had to throw 2 of them away.
I haven't been on that roof because of, my foreman knows that thing so well that when Jim calls me, I usually send him up there and he does it, and he's pretty reserved. you know, since he's the one that's working on it, and when he tells me that it needs to be replaced, that it needs to be replaced. Especially the section that's closest to the road.
It's the old original part of the building.
Yep, yep, and then, I'm glad you said that. So then you also have the shingle part of the roof that's on the library, which the shingles are in great shape, there's nothing wrong with them. But when they built that, it comes down and it has a decorative mansard. So at the end of the shingles, it goes flat. And what they did is, that was probably the original part of the deal, and it was a decorative piece. It was actually copper. And it's all busted up and gone, and that has nothing to do with the flat part. The unfortunate thing about it is you can't fix that unless you get rid of the shingles. I mean, fix it correctly. So we actually put a bunch of, Johnny, my foreman, put a bunch of geoseal and stuff on there, and that's not an issue right now, but something maybe to look forward to in the future. And the mansard part of it can't be fixed the right way unless you take the shingles. So,
That's the Band-Aid.
and that's a completely different, scenario from the flat part of the roof.
Well, I'm
They're-
sure
they're
it
two
is, but
separate
it's the
things.
same building, it's the same.
Absolutely.
You know.
And you know, I think I looked it up, I think it's 24, it says on the sheet, I don't have my glasses on, but I think it's 24 squares. So you would probably be looking at about another, let's see,
24 square.
yeah, so take 24, if you put presidentials back on it, take 24 times 600.
14.4.
Now that's to put presidentials back on it, which are a really fancy shingle. You wouldn't have to do that, but
And
being
that's
it's
an
a
IR
library and
shingle,
it's a
right?
city building, that's one of the reasons they decided to do it. It originally had tile on it.
Ryan, that's an IR shingle?
And that's the old Carnegie part of the building, right?
Yeah, and that's why they had all the decorative, you know, stuff around the bottom.
I think
You know.
that's one of the only Carnegie libraries left standing in the country.
Really? It was the last one built.
Dale Carnegie. That's where that comes from. So yeah, I mean, if, you know, I know there's been problems with the Coleman building, but I'm the one that comes, you know, has to come fix it. I wouldn't be telling you that it's good if it wasn't.
We'll get us some numbers on the library,
Yeah, we'll do.
get a good fix on that.
Okay, yeah, I can get those to Jim.
Man. We used to make a lot of money charging like $50 a square.
Those days are gone.
They're gone.
I started laughing at this when I looked at the price in even in 1990.
Yeah.
It's just not cheap, especially anything oil. You know, anything oil based is, everybody knows they're filling their cars up with gas. And that's the other thing, is that it isn't gonna get any cheaper.
I remember shingling in 1990, not that I have the right skin color or speak the language, but
Yeah.
ended up doing it anyway, and we were doing them for like 230 a square.
Those days are gone.
Yeah, that's
Those days are
everything,
gone.
yeah.
Yeah. And luckily, and to try to find good labor in the roofing industry is almost impossible.
It was impossible then.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, almost impossible, because none of the younger kids want to work. So,
And that's hard work.
yeah,
I mean, that's not,
and then you hire somebody and
you
they,
can't fix that on your phone.
you ask them to go do something and then you gotta go fix it. And then they still want paid.
How much help is help?
Yeah,
Did you have a question?
Yeah, I was gonna say, why couldn't we just put a steel roof on the library?
oh, get your checkbook out. You can, you could.
How long would it last?
Oh, it depends.
If you guys installed it, how long would it last?
It all depends on a bunch of different factors, the weather, how they did it, what kind of metal.
50 years?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so how much would it cost initially?
To put a metal roof on this
Yeah.
building,
Or no, the library, not the
Yeah.
courthouse.
$100,000, $150,000.
So you're paying $2,000 a year then for it, if it lasts 50 years.
Yeah, but that's if it lasts
Okay.
50.
Doesn't work well.
I've had that
flat,
question
though.
myself many times.
Metal roofs, I'm a fan of them, I'm not a fan of them, and I'm not a fan of them.
They have good applications.
We replace them and take care of them all the time.
I've always wondered why anybody would put a flat roof on anything.
Yeah,
That's my
that's
big-
exactly,
Ask the architects.
that's exactly what I go to,
Yeah.
man, a flat roof. And with most people, you go, I want 3 inches drop in my garage floor, and they give you an eighth, you go, how do you get that across 200 feet of a roof? Which, oh. And then
Yeah.
you gotta show up, and you go, turns out there's no slope.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's actually why they started making the tapered insulation, is to taper the
Because
water where they needed to, where they needed to make it go.
There's no question about it. Yeah, you don't have to rely on something.
And flat roofs aren't bad, that roof's been on the Coleman building for a long time. The problem is that you just have to get them to drain right. Any roof that ponds water, you're asking for trouble. If it drains the way it's supposed to drain and dries out, it's no different. And we work on metal roofs all the time.
Really, every big government building anywhere has a swimming pool on the top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're built that way.
Yeah. And a lot of times now you want to get into this stuff. I mean, I just saw one in Lincoln. They're doing, vegetation roofs. So basically you put this, and this company actually has a spec for one. So you put the roof down, and then over the top of the roof, you put what they look like egg crates all on top of the whole thing. And then they plant stuff up there. They have walkways. And so the roof is basically an outside garden.
So Jim and his crew have to get the.
While we're up there.
I think we need to get Kim at the hospital to put that on so she can have the patients walk out there. Right?
Yeah, that might actually
Yeah,
be pretty
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You might as well just put a concrete roof on it if you're gonna put dirt on top of it.
Yeah, the commercial side of it was, in 2019, they've really raised, and it's the insurance companies that kind of set the market, right? And they're the ones that have really jacked all these prices up in the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah. So that's where it's at. Like I said, if the insurance company came in here and they paid for the library roof, what's up there, and they bought you a new roof, they're gonna be right at, the estimate's gonna be right at $60,000. It's anywhere between $1,000 to $1,200 a roofing square, or $12 a square foot. So you got your detail stuff in there, like lead in the drains and some other minor things, but that's about what they're gonna be. Any other questions?
I got nothing, Ryan.
Okay,
Thanks.
all right. Yep, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yep, see you, Jim.
What else do you have for us, Jim?
Working away. I guess we're gonna go over budget, huh? Like,
Let's talk about the patch you did on the Agriplex floor. Did that turn out
Oh,
right?
yep, sure did. It's, we got it all out, but,
And we determined that was probably from the water pipe or the sprinkler system that came on and flooded the interior, is where the moisture got in there.
probably so. What'd you say, Dan?
Probably. We didn't find anything abandoned outside the building or no other source. Probably just in bronze. It doesn't look like it was sealed. It looked little bit discolored concrete, like you wet it. It was nice and cool, I'd guess water. So,
There was an abandoned floor drain, in the middle of that spot that they had already filled. That was the lowest spot of it, so.
Sorry, it took me a second to go from roof patch to floor patch. I'm with you now. Yes. Huh. Okay,
So-
yeah, it was just, you think it was residual water from there that heat?
Just, yeah, it separated. So, we did find, the flooring, we found the box and half of flooring, so, and then we reused, most of it. What we use out of the box?
9.
9 out of the box, so,
So you still have some if we
Yep.
we'd have another problem somewhere.
Yep.
As long as it's not huge.
So.
But
Looks good.
I think though, for the other that's popping up, if we use, like, my method was cutting it with putty knives. Hammering in the putty knife, pull it up, hammer it, you know. One of the guys used a heat gun and kind of wiggled it, and that's why we weren't able to reuse them. They stretched and they bent and they kinked. And they- So if we're carefuler, if we're careful, I think we can reuse them. You know, it's hard to say you won't break a couple, but
Yeah.
we still have a few. We can break a couple, but
That
You can
pressure
see-
sensitive adhesive is hard to deal with. I mean,
that,
it's,
that pressure activated, pressure sensitive, whatever you wanna call it, that glue is no joke.
yeah,
It
that's right.
sticks.
Is it like an acetone solvent type thing you use?
Yeah, you gotta use something like that to cut it.
Yeah, to cut it.
Water won't touch it.
No, I bet.
And you can't really get it off your hands.
Right, yeah, it wears off.
Yeah, I was
I
say,
did
you
get
gotta
some
cut
on
the
me, and
calluses
it
off with
wore
that
off.
glue. Yeah.
I got it on my elbow some kind of way, and you'd be surprised where your elbow touches your body and got it all over.
And now you have no more arm hair left.
Yeah,
you know?
I'll say, how long is that gonna, is you getting your arms waxed there? Yeah, a little bit.
It's wonderful stuff, you know, because
Yeah.
it is so permanent.
Yeah.
There are a couple more spots, they're not nearly as noticeable as that one. We're just gonna really keep our eye on them and see how what they do.
They're basically separating from the,
Yeah.
You could, if you use the glare of the light of the window and stand in certain places, you can notice like, looks like something was under there. They went over, but it's actually, you can tap it and it's hollow.
yeah, air pocket.
And it's all on that south third. So, which is the original, the kitchen, with the kitchen, it's all on that.
The original kitchen, bathrooms, all of that is in that.
Yeah, otherwise you don't see anything up the rest of it.
So isn't that, I'm gonna say the middle section, wasn't that where the hardwood floor was under?
Mm-hmm.
The hardwood's still there.
Yeah.
So you can see in there, they have a strip that goes from east to west on the third, and that's right where the front half into the main hall was, so. It looks good.
We'll just have to keep our eye on it.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any other question before we move into the budget?
No.
So I have a question, Malcolm, do, we know when LGLP is gonna be here to assess that?
I submitted the claim and haven't heard anything back from them, but based off everything Ryan gave, it does not look good.
Can we,
But all the remediation I'll pay for sure.
okay,
Anyway, what were you saying?
okay, so we can go ahead and get started on the inside?
Yeah.
Okay,
Just take lots of pictures before, during, and after.
okay. Then that's where we'll focus our attention, this week. We'll start on March
You're
3rd.
saying though the roof's so old, they won't pay for it, right? Yeah, just damage.
So the maintenance budget, I think probably the most significant, and I know that Jim wants to speak to the new equipment line item. On the detention center maintenance, Jim said 100,000 is the base maintenance requirement. So it's gonna take 100,000 just to maintain it status quo every year. And should he renovate 2 pods, I believe, it would be 120,000. So my proposal is we hold off until December, similar to how we did this fiscal year. You know, we had the discussion with the sheriff's office last meeting that we need daily census of marshalling needs to be at least 30 to be comfortable. And in December, we can see if we've exceeded that number, then less, or right at, and then make a decision about a pod renovation at that point. So I'd advocate we do something similar. And I've communicated that to Jim, of course. One change would be having the items on hand, but before it starts. But the big issue is making sure, that coordination between the painter and the inmates themselves is kind of a tough window,
Yes.
right? So there's some negotiation there with the painter, Jim, the jail. But I am advocating that we hold off until December to make that decision. And I think, Jim, I think it's good to tell them what the painters had told you about this fall and whether my recommendation works well or not, what your thoughts are.
So on that, what I had planned is as soon as you guys ask me to move forward with a pod, I will order all the supplies we need. They will get here before we even schedule anybody, and then we'll do our thing. Painters cannot come until about the middle of October. Anyway, that'd be the soonest they could get here. Then they start getting busy with outside stuff, obviously springtime. So we'd have that window of winter that we could get in there.
So like January, February.
Yeah. So we would get in there and do all of our stuff before the painters. And then, obviously that should be the last thing that's done is the painting. Walls, everything, and then as we come out, we do the flooring and come right out.
So the vacancies won't be as long as this last one
Correct.
was.
Correct, yep.
Because the numbers are starting to come back.
And that's good. That's our whole goal is to get everything here, get it done as quickly as we can. So all hands on deck. So.
Paint last.
Paint last.
Yeah, this time, we just didn't have that opportunity to do it any other way.
But we're also doing our budget with the faith that people will break the law. Keep the facility full.
Yeah,
I think that'd be the
Which is
safe
kinda
bet.
sad.
So, yeah,
that's true.
I go, yeah. Other than
Before
that,
you go on, has the shower panels and things come in for that?
No.
We're still waiting on that.
No, we're still waiting on that. I did email yesterday to find out where they were at. I haven't received an email back yet, so. But that shouldn't be, that might take us a half a day when they come in to get them swapped over. Not a big deal. Shouldn't be a big deal. So. I would say, if you guys had time to go and take a look.
I see.
See what you think. So,
And they let me back in.
Which pod was it?
Yeah,
What, F
D,
pod?
D pod. Yeah, we'd let you out.
Is F, F is like one of the next ones,
So F is a small pod, it's a 2-cell pod.
yeah.
So, that's, I would say E and F are the two smallest ones, and they're probably the ones in the best shape.
Okay, so it's going on a conversation we had like a year ago, so that's about what stuck in my head was that.
Yeah, I would say like G, C and G would be the next two that I think.
G's where the women go,
Well, they kind of mix them. G,
but E and F, they're like more short-term pods, correct or not?
so E pod is where they keep the inmate workers.
Okay.
And then F pod is the naughty ones.
Yeah, that's the nasty ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, C pod's the biggest one, and it's the open pod. It doesn't have cells, it's just open top and bottom, so they can cage them at the top or cage them at the bottom, however. It's a general pod, I guess, is maybe how you say it, I don't know. But that's the biggest one, and that's,
It's an old school jail, bars.
yeah,
That's right. We will provide any experience you would like. If you would like to be by yourself on closed walls, we have that. If you want to be open and bang on them, we also have that.
So I would say G or F or G would be the next two. So that's where we go back.
So Malcolm, on the new equipment where we requested 157, that's for the jail part renovation.
No, that was, Jim had asked for a skid steer and then a pickup to replace the little Ranger, it doesn't have heat anymore, and so.
And it leaks coolant. I did not bring it with me, and I will email it to you, a current mileage of all of our vehicles that's in our pool. I left it on my desk. So I'll get that to you. It'll show you mileage as of April of '25 and then as of yesterday when I send it to you, so. I'll get that to you. The other piece of new equipment that I thought of after I put this together was a scissor lift. Right now, we have to rent one, and if you get one, it's like, you better hold on to it as long as you need it, because they're in demand. And that cost us like $1,700 to rent for the month.
And a new one costs what?
So I've talked to some people, you can get them on Ritchie Brothers for like $3,500.
Only 3
actually
pins
work?
moves missing.
Well, yeah. I've never dealt with Ritchie Brothers, so I don't.
And Murphy switches don't work and they come up and they don't come down, and there's a reason they're there.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Well,
That's why they're
And
there.
REIC, they sell theirs once in a while, as they get new ones, the same thing, I don't know what a brand new one costs,
Just don't wanna buy somebody else's headache.
so,
you know?
that would be one piece of equipment that I think would be very beneficial, not only for there, we could use it other places, and I had one on 19.
And 19 what?
It goes up 19 feet,
Oh, okay.
so,
The thing about renting versus owning, because I've been there before in my own business, is how many times you gotta rent it before it pays for itself to own it? Because rent, gone, but then you gotta throw back in, like the Ritchie Brothers thing, he's like, well, and this is not a can on them, it's just auction sites.
right,
There's a reason that equipment's there. Maybe used up's the word, maybe it ain't, but,
There's no deal to be had.
what's that?
There's no deals to be had.
No,
They more than
No.
likely need a hydraulic motor or batteries
Right.
or something.
Mhm.
We'll send a parachute up with you.
You ever been stuck on one that won't come down? It's not a lot of fun.
What if you're stuck on one and there's no one there to hit the button? and
That's what I'm talking about. There's nobody down
Flying
below to
down
hit the
the-
manual thing, cause
the
you're like
ladder
cowboyed up
work.
on your own.
The rope.
Escalada. Oh, you don't get one of them either. So, let's talk about your skid loader for a second. I'm going back to Chris's budget. And so he was talking skid steer coal planer. And then I've got a note in here that his trade-in value, they told him, was around 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense to let that go for 11?
No.
If we went that way, it doesn't to me.
Absolutely. It seems like yeah, I agree with you.
I'm just-
100%.
I'm just looking at both.
Mhm.
and I would be
Trying to
plumb
do.
pickled with his,
And you'd have to do an evaluation, see what the condition of his was, and what the useful life left
Yeah.
was.
How many hours are on it?
I
If it's
think,
less than 20,000, it's probably good.
well, I thought he said it was like 4,800, maybe maybe eight. I mean, it's not huge.
His reason for wanting
he probably needs bigger.
he needs a bigger machine.
Yeah, bigger,
His
because he can run a
won't
coal
load a
planer
dump
on it. Because that can't happen with this one.
Yeah.
And the advantages of the coal planer speak for themselves,
When I
on the
originally
roads.
asked for a new, a skid steer, we needed something that would reach higher, because we had the dump truck at that time. Now we have the dump trailer, so the size of his would be just fine for us.
His isn't a high reach, is it? Yeah, it is. It'll dump in the semi, won't it?
No,
Not the one he has.
No.
His won't? Okay.
no, it won't, it wouldn't go in the back, but
No, of
Big
course,
dump
he's,
truck, yeah.
he's like 10, 11. That's all he could do. All right.
Build a ramp.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just thought I'd throw that out.
Yeah. 11,000 seems like we're giving it away.
Yeah. Very much. You can't find one for, but, what, 2020?
So,
Yeah,
the other
if you
thing
went
I
outside
had
and found
in
something.
new equipment was a tractor and an arena tool. Our little tractor is, it's just underpowered. So,
Define arena tool.
so it,
Is it a disc, is it a chisel disc, is it a,
It's a
what is that?
combination
It's
of
a-
all
yeah.
that with a leveling bar in the back and a brush or a roller on the back that leaves it like
High-speed
an ice
VT
skating
machine.
rink.
And
Yeah.
what's your tractor currently for horsepower?
75. So when we borrow, last couple of years, Chris has let us use his Kubota, and it's 100 horse, and it does a lot better. 110 would be ideal
Look for donations.
for the tool we currently have. The current tool we have, when we got the fairgrounds, we found it in weeds.
Usually that's where they're stacked.
So we put 2 hydraulic lines on it, and we've been using it like crazy ever since. I mean, it does take some time to get used to using that thing, but it's, yeah. So it rips in the very front, there's teeth that go in.
What year is your tractor that you currently have? What model is it? Because it wasn't, we haven't had it too long.
Yeah,
Jenny, can you?
that's right.
'Cause I think
If I had to guess, it's like 9 years, cause they'd had it a little while before I started. It's a New Holland.
I think the one prior to that was a Ford 6016,
It's still
Yeah.
out there.
And we still have that old tractor.
and it's about 85 horse too.
Yeah.
And do you use it at all?
Mm-hmm.
There's arena
It's on a-
tools on both.
It's on a chisel, or there's a chisel on it, so. But we have to tire, we can only get in about 4 inches
So this,
if the ground's not.
this
clear.
arena tool is similar to what I'd call a roller harrow, to a degree.
I think
To a degree, yes.
Okay.
I think you're right. With some like, doesn't have crow's feet on it, does it? It's just a,
No, it doesn't have to push.
How much is an arena tool? Like, if you had your druthers, what do they run?
I think the last one I looked at was like 15.
brand new.
And I believe it was a Blackwood, it was its brand. They
I'm
make so
surprised if you
many.
couldn't get one of those for like $3,000. Maybe not, maybe the market's totally different. Like those guys that spend money on $600 ton hay to feed a couple of horses. Like they're going, maybe a $15,000, that's the only thing I'll need to make all my hobbies go well. Maybe I do have a different market for it.
The problem we have, most of our problem outside is we're sitting under ice.
Oh, yeah.
And then our dirt is
There's no clay in that. It's all
Yeah,
clay.
Thankfully, we have the water truck now and we do use it a lot. So. In fact, they're putting water on one arena now so we can get the hard spot out of it.
How many horsepower does it take to pull, say, a 12-foot?
Just to be honest though, you can't prove how much.
10, 12,
Yeah.
12 foot, you
Odometer
can
reading's been
easily.
the same. the
I
last
think it's
3
like
sheets.
4 foot.
Okay.
A roller, but you
Like a
like,
roller harrow,
You don't like-
its resistance would come in its chisel shanks.
yeah.
You know how deep you're trying to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where your horsepower would have to come from.
We run an 18 with a 145 all the time.
Okay.
So it's less than that, probably 7 a foot.
Okay.
And I think actually the reason we do it is because it weighs so much.
Mhm.
And you just need the ballast on the front that it pulls really easy with 140.
The Valley farmers don't have roller harrows.
No,
No, we don't have that.
no. Closest thing is a brilliant cedar, right?
What's that?
Closest thing is like a brilliant cedar that you never
Yeah.
gets used, yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at with the new equipment line.
You know, I'd be surprised. It seems to me like you could get something like work with somebody to provide something for that sort of thing. You know, those guys are pretty passionate about it. They, like, you know, if you go out and maybe have some partners or something like that, or get somebody to donate one, that would be like, not donate, but work with something like that. Throw a John Deere out there in New Holland, Brown Company will come running. I don't know. You
I
know,
have
like
talked
this-
to Brown Company and John Deere and Kubota
No,
about
I-
new tractors and whatnot.
Yeah,
A good used one, whatever, you know, and that's,
they're $30 an hour. That's what that size of tractor you're running is gonna fund.
Okay, let Cheyenne talk to Kubota Bob.
Go to Bob.
Well, he used to be here,
oh, yeah.
you know, in Browns, and then he's got that thing down there. I just call him Kubota Bob.
So, I guess we'll just go backwards then on the capital construction, projects. I have kind of listed out, over at the county attorney's office, they'd like to do a remodel of the back room, which we call the library now. Roughly around $7,000 to make 2 offices in there. We did, when we done the HVAC in there, we changed the HVAC around a little bit to accommodate, new rooms in the future.
I bet it changed a lot.
So, yeah, they moved them around and whatnot.
So the intent is that room is huge
It
and
is.
not really used to its full potential, so,
Nobody
Make it-
reads books anymore.
yeah. Well, actually, there was a lot of law books that they told
They
you to
did.
get rid of because those cases are online now.
Yeah.
In fact, we had the dump trailer outside the door and, Morel and I think Karen,
Somebody reading a copy of
Room out.
Fahrenheit 451 while you're doing it.
so,
But the idea was to make it into 2 offices. That way you have extra office space should it be needed.
Once it doesn't have a lot of value right now, it's just sitting there. It's heated and cooled and it's just sitting there. And where's the value in that if
Is there
nobody's
any-
using it?
Is there a napping chair in the corner? What's
Uh,
happening
It
now?
wasn't the day I was in there, but there's room for one.
You might find one of them sequestered back there every once in a while.
Well, I think Morel was talking about witness, what's she? That,
witness
Coordination.
yeah,
Yeah.
and being able to isolate that in that part would be part of,
So when we went over there and we done some measuring and calculating, we brought Morel in and Doug came in and, okay, give us your idea what you're looking for. And then we agreed upon, a layout,
you talk about 2 walls, right?
so,
Unless something's changed, you walk in, you got this wall and you got the other one.
so, that's where that number came from.
It'll be a little bit more complex, Jeff, because you have to maintain an egress route.
Right.
So you couldn't have the exterior door inside one of the offices. So essentially you'd have a
You do in the east one, you have an exterior door. If you split it that way.
Right.
There would be.
But the main the building itself has to be able to exit through that door without
So you
going
don't-
through an office.
Oh, okay,
Is this
okay,
more than
okay.
200
So it would
feet
be a-
somewhere?
Yeah, so it would be a hallway, and then the 2 offices would be to the south of that.
Add another wall.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
4 walls.
Yeah.
2 doors.
So,
The nice thing that I appreciate about this is, and one reason that we brought Dan on board and have this capital construction line item,
Just to do it.
it's a
in-house.
relatively small project that not a lot of people are gonna bite on, and we can do it in-house.
Very, better than, I agree.
I mean, you're looking at
Throw
the
the
sheriff's office
Hook
basement.
though. 5th the price, 6th the price.
There you go. No,
So
it's
I really appreciate having somebody of your caliber on the crew.
Definitely.
I
Thank you.
really, really do. It's very hard to come by.
We're lucky to have him because he does some pretty amazing things.
Yeah, the
No
treasure.
joke,
Oh, come on.
it's true.
There's your
Don't
hook.
stop. Oh, come on, don't stop.
Do you have some projects coming on?
I literally was like, I want this, and this is the measurements. I like explained it from my mind, and he made it was even better. Like, he does good stuff, lots of things. We do
So,
have a project
I
coming
just
up.
wish we had a carpenter shop,
Yeah,
make cabinets and stuff.
yeah.
The conference room over there, we've talked, a couple of years now about remodeling that conference room. And really, we're thinking somewhere around 12 grand to remodel that, taking all that crap down out of it.
In the what room?
In the conference room.
Okay.
So, get rid of all that,
Commissioner Chambers.
yeah.
That's right. Know that well.
Let's have a conversation about that at some point, Dan.
What's that? That room?
No, your carpenter shop.
Oh.
I know, you laid that one out there, and you got me thinking about it.
That's not outside my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
We have talked, maybe a year now, about cabinets in the district court jury room. So I just left that in there. I know you guys had said, let's just hold off on that. And talking with Mona, that's not a huge thing. It would be appreciative,
Yeah,
but it's not
I,
a big deal, so.
with Jeb.
Then I would like to get the assessor's office, that would be a priority for me, is get their countertop, get them a nice countertop in there. So,
We should call your department the DIY, do it yourself, the Dan Young department.
yeah,
It's just almost impossible to find, you know, when you talk about DIY, is that, been there, done that, guys, anymore.
Yeah. We're all getting too old. The guys who have actually done anything are retiring.
Thank you.
I know. I know. It's a
so,
problem, you guys should recognize that. Keep working till you're 90, why don't you?
so do you want me to go through every line, or, I mean, I kind of feel like Malcolm does his thing, and
Not very much of your budget is negotiable, except for the things that are, those are zero.
Yeah, there's not a lot of flexibility in it.
Yeah,
so. We kind of went over the jail stuff, courthouse.
I'm kinda in the
Utilities need
mood,
to come up a little bit, just, yeah.
I'm kinda in the mood to like, kinda how Malcolm has it here, I'm kinda in the mood to maybe focus more on like, not necessarily capital construction, but like those kind of projects instead of those kind of tools, like the skidster and stuff and getting, but like, you know, spending the money that we have on stuff that, like we're talking about these little projects instead of like a tool to do something else, because I think we have tools, those are like, we can get that done, but we don't, we could also buy a tool that can also just get it done like we have been doing, make actual improvements instead of,
Well, in the retail world, this kind of stuff, tools are just that. If they make you money, they're worth buying. If they're a convenience and they don't make you any money, then, you know. So, you know, that goes back to rent versus own.
yes.
How many times do I have to rent this before I can say, okay, I'm gonna buy it and then I'm gonna depreciate it,
Yeah,
you know, but that's,
we can't appreciate it because we're government.
we can't, yeah. But there's still business decisions without that, you know, without the IRS involved, there's still business
Yeah.
decisions. Needs are needs, wants are wants.
Yeah.
So the other, the line item, the custodial line item, the 0212, I just wanted to make sure that you guys kind of understood, that's where we take out, the rugs for the buildings, and when I wrote this up, I just put courthouse, well, that's incorrect, it's courthouse, library, Coleman Building, and the Agriplex, all.
Rug
those-
cleaning,
Excuse me?
rug cleaning, the rugs.
Yes, they own the rugs, we just
Oh,
wrote there.
Who's that through? It's
Ideal.
Ideal, yeah.
Mhm. And that's where that comes out of now, so I just wanted to point that out.
And then there's money in there, cause the rug rental doesn't equal 15,000 a
Right.
year.
Right.
So there's also money in the event that should we need to contract custodial work.
Right.
That's where it would come from. So I did recommend a little cut in the request just to make room for the fire and life safety line. We have not used contract custodial for a while. And so I'm thinking if we reduce it a little bit, we'll be fine.
Right. And that brings me back to that fire and life, safety line. I asked, for about 12,000 to be placed in its own line. I want to take all of our annual inspections, anything fire and safety related, I would like to come out of its own line.
Where was it before?
It just come out of, facility maintenance.
Yeah.
The 0500.
It came out of building maintenance?
Yes. That's where it's always came out. So I think adding that would be great. And then I've talked to Malcolm about, what did you call that, sublining or?
Yep.
So
So with White Cats, we'll have the ability that if it's maintenance or fire life safety, he'll be able to code it so it says it's for the courthouse specifically, Coleman specifically. Then there will be a subline for all buildings. So if you buy a box of screws,
right,
don't really know where they're gonna go, it's just a general
Mhm.
code, but otherwise we'll have a lot more specificity for what building it went to.
Well, with all the different accounts that this White Cats thing's gonna bring, it's gonna, make the information side of it a whole lot easier to figure out, this $5 went there and that $20 went there instead of $25 where to go.
Right.
Then you're gonna know exactly.
Hopefully that makes for better decisions.
Well, yeah. And it's a hell of a way to measure it.
Yes, yeah. Which direction are we going?
Yeah.
I have, one ask, I guess, on the salaries, the 0100. Sometime in August, towards the end of August, I lose Mackenzie, which she is the one that is the custodian for the library and jail, and then she also is the other part-time help at the fairgrounds. So what I'm asking is, can we get somebody on board a month or two earlier, right away, so she can help that person get trained? Not only for the custodial side, but for the fair office as well.
Wasn't that in your fair deal, Jenny?
So that's a position we share.
We double dutied it.
All right.
Yeah.
I seen that and I thought, okay.
So I think we took Jenny's part-time person and put it in my salaries, right?
Yep.
And then combined that position. It's easier to find a full-time person than it is to find two part-time people.
So that would be under the custodians.
No,
No, it'll be under salaries.
what I did was this laborer part-time, I just built 5,000 in
Okay.
because that'll be roughly 6 weeks. And so it'll give them time to be able to get somebody hired to work through fair. So I did build it in. Jim will code it as just regular salary, but internally we'll track it out of the part-time line, but understanding they're hired on a full-time basis.
Right.
And then in August, when Mackenzie leaves, then you want to fill that.
Yeah.
So it's a similar situation to the treasurer's office from this morning, just 4 months shorter. And I know when we talked about this position in the past, there was concern if Because it is two weird duties to put together, frankly. And with the current person, it's worked remarkably well. I can't speak highly enough about her. And the way that you two have worked it, honestly. So I think filling it will be tough, but giving them the go-ahead to get it moving is paramount.
In the critical timeframe of overlapping fare, for them to have that knowledge of how that operates.
I'd be comfortable enough, frankly, at this point, if you gave them the authority, June 21st, that's the start of the new payroll cycle, to start looking for that person.
We don't know how long it's gonna take to fill the position. so-
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm comfortable enough that I think that that's a sure bet you can cut them loose. We do the same thing with summer help, getting folks hired in March, April, May, to start filling in the summer, hoping we're able to appropriate in July for summer help, but anyway, so I would ask that you cut them loose to get that hired, or at least advertise it.
Yeah, I'm fine with starting the process.
Appreciate that.
It's gonna be a lot easier for Mackenzie to train somebody during Fair Week than it will for me and Jim to train them next fair.
So,
Transitions aren't easy, but if you can make them smoother, why not? I mean, that's a prudent thing to do.
and you might as well scare them right away with fair.
Yes,
Throw them in,
exactly.
Throw them right to the wolves, right?
yeah, sink or swim.
Then you know who's gonna cut it or not.
So that's really about all I have for you.
The only other real change you'll notice to the courthouse, or the maintenance budget, is the courthouse phase 2 is in it. So when I report to the Department of Audit, when Christie reports, that money has to be appropriated to, it was a facility expenditure. We classified as construction, but under facilities. So it looks like Jim's budget just had a major growth spurt of $4 million, but it's just changing from one department to another.
Yeah.
And so obviously those funds can only be used for phase 2. So I anticipate having to pay the balance of the contract in this coming fiscal year. So Christy and I talked to you about this a little bit 2 meetings ago, but we're advocating that we use a little bit of our emergency reserve to the tune of, by the time the year starts, it'll be about 1.4, 1.3 that we'd be using. And then as that sales tax comes in, replenishing that reserve to make sure we're not putting ourselves in a scary situation, but allowing that we can cash flow. We obviously save on financing charges,
Yeah,
legal, accounting, things like that. We just cash flow it.
I think that was our goal from the start, so.
I'm not gonna
cash
say
flow
who,
versus
but one
volume.
commissioner doubted we'd be able to, and I'm just gonna say we got it done. Anyway, that's really the only other big change is it just makes Jim's budget look weird. In a few years, that'll be the norm. Gone, actually, but
I mean, it makes the overall county budget look weird.
yeah, oh yeah, your cash on hand was
Yeah.
just way out of whack.
Yeah.
But it's really not there.
Don't worry, it's already spent.
Yeah, don't worry,
Don't worry.
it'll go away quickly.
Jeez.
I do have one more thing for capital construction. That I didn't hear, it was a late coming to me. The circuit court judge had asked for some sort of protection between her and the witness. It's not gonna be a big expense.
Well, like a plexiglass thing she was asking. about.
Yes, yes.
Judge Brown?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so I met with her and we come up with an idea, I just haven't got that ball rolling yet, waiting for the new budget season. And then we'll,
It can't be that big a deal, can
no, not really. So, and she's not in a real big hurry, I mean, like she was like, just put some tape up there and tape up some plexiglass. And, no, we're not gonna do that, but we'll make it look right.
We use bulk tape.
So
Get
basically,
some
it'll
good
just,
duct tape.
there's a walk there behind her that goes to the witness, we'll just, fill that in and then we'll put plexiglass, level across the top between her and the witness. So, it should be a pretty easy thing, so. That's the other thing that would come out of capital construction, right after the first, so. And we
These
just,
are the cabinets I didn't have to cut down 4 years ago. Like the other ones. Anything else for Jim?
No.
Thanks, Jim.
yeah, thank you.
Okay, we'll move to the
Stay, just for the fair one.
fair budget.
Yeah, but you have to go up front. You're in the hot seat.
Have to move to the front.
Yeah.
I'll see.
See you. Good.
Yeah. Okay.
Morning, Jenny.
Good morning.
You got it all hammered out.
Easy, right?
So the only thing I didn't get in the request, so this discretionary fund, this is the fair specific funding that comes from their donations, and you remember that when the fair came over as a department, all of the mill levy funds and donation funds have been pooled into a single account. And so it's impossible to say which is which, so they went into this account that's controlled by the treasurer that at the time came over with about, 105,000, I think, and today we're at 325. And so that fund really is what the fair board needs if they have a specific project that they're working on, or to cover shortfalls in fair funding.
Or if they want to buy a tractor or something.
No, I mean, that's their fund. So what I recommended, so what we've been doing is appropriating 25,000 a year out of that fund just for random things that come up. I believe the $600 to Lions Club will come out of that, would be my guess. But, then what we did last year was we cut 7,000 from fair funding. So this line item 0608 is the actual cost of the fair itself. We cut it by 7,000 because of the reduction in funding. And so to offset that, we used funding from the fair discretionary fund. So I've recommended the same thing this year, and I know that Jenny had asked for 65,000. If we went that high, we would obviously need to increase this another 5,000, so to 39,000 total. That way they would have their 65, but the general fund is everything that starts with a 100, right?
Mhm.
So property tax, sales tax, fees paid to the clerk's office, motor vehicle fees. So you can see that that's totaling roughly 108,000. And then these three funds are their unique to them funds. I don't really know where I was going with that, but I guess the question would be to Jenny and Molly is whether that 65, if we want to go that high, I was able to recommend 53 from the general fund to help offset the cost of fair. If they want to go higher to 65, we just need to increase discretionary would be my recommendation. Increase that to 39,000.
And I was looking at that between when I did my budget request and I looked at it again today. So, I mean, we had 53 in there last year and I haven't even used all of it. There's still 4,000 in there as of today.
So you think the 53 would be adequate?
What were you shooting for with the 65?
Well, just for instance, it seems like the last 2 years with our judges and our travel, because of that, it's jumped almost $2,000. And then it seems like all of your entertainment is now, they've all gone up a little bit. And so, just like everything else, obviously, all of the stuff that we do every single year is now at a higher cost than it was last year and the year before that. So it was just trying to look ahead at those, knowing we're gonna have those changes and things are gonna be more than they were last year.
And do you have most of those things for this fair already contracted? You have numbers for that?
Yes, yep, that's all done. Most of them are paid for. So that's one of the fair line item is really funny because a lot of it gets paid for. Like this year's, most of it's already paid for, so then next year's will be paid before the 2027 fair.
So basically, the budget numbers we're looking at appropriating this year, or not this coming fair, but
Yes, yep,
the
that,
next year.
yes,
Like some of the judge payments, of course, will still come out
yeah,
for the
judge,
26 fair, but
all of your judge payments will still come out and, so that, I mean, and that'll probably use up that, I think it's actually it's 6,000, so it'll come out of next year's. But, like all of the entertainment, a lot of them ask for a deposit ahead of time. We usually do a deposit and then write them, instead of me trying to track people down during fair to get them paid, you know, the band or whatever, we just send them a check before they come. Because if it gets rained out and we cancel, we don't get that money back anyway. I mean, you're gonna pay for them either way. They don't give you a refund if it's like weather related or whatever, so we pay for that before they get here. When they get a signed contract.
so basically if, for the 27 fair, if they get close to that 53,000, there's something that they want to add that they can't afford out of the general fund. It just tells them right now we've gotta use discretionary. So we can do that thing that we wanna do that's more expensive. It just changes where they pull it from, which would be those donation funds.
And those decisions would be like May and June decisions, not,
July 21st.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying they don't have that flexibility, it's just we set a limit on the general fund appropriation.
right.
When do they get to a point that what are they rolling over with the fund now with interest and the savings?
Well, that's a good question. I'll pull up.
How much cash do you guys have outlaid, like 6, 8, 9 months in advance? Like
How much
for
what?
cash you guys paying out, like 6, 8, 9 months. You guys are, when do you pay the vendors to come?
We don't pay vendors.
Or what?
Oh,
I mean,
like
how it works.
entertainment?
Yeah.
It just kinda depends, so a lot of times I will book them a year in advance. I usually start that a year in advance. I actually, when I go to that convention, the Rocky Mountain Convention, it's a good place to meet those kind of people and you book them then. They send you a contract. We usually are paying at least the deposit January, February. Then we usually pay, like we have a magic show guy coming and we just sent his final check last week.
I seen it this morning.
Yeah.
Didn't know who that was, and then I looked it up, yeah.
But like the entertainment for this year, you booked over and paid well over 12 months ago, right?
No, I booked BJ Jameson 2 years ago. We signed a contract. I did not, do a deposit. We did a deposit check in the fall, but that was a special circumstance. It's not normally like that. It was just because I had booked him so far in advance, cause I tried getting him and couldn't. He was always booked out so far that you had to book that far in advance if you wanted him here.
So these people were paid way before they mobilized.
They all require a deposit, yep, and you're doing that pretty early when you sign a contract with them.
Otherwise you're gonna get them.
So
Right.
to explain Ian just a little bit, this is the report that Christie issues each month for the fair, but you can see that the collections the fair has made this year for general fund collections is roughly 33,000.
Yep.
That's charges for the Agriplex, exhibit hall, outside of Fair Week, of
Indoor
course.
arena, yep.
If it's inside of Fair Week, then those all go to the fair fund, but the general fund is about 108,000, right?
Mhm.
So roughly a third of it is offset by their fees, if that makes sense. Now, when I say 108,000, that doesn't include maintenance, that doesn't include utilities, that's in a different location, but they're paying back about 33,000 into the general fund. And just the fair department's 108,000, right? So then the next line, this is their checking account, so that's what's currently
Mm-hmm.
liquid. So when Christie writes, or when I write a warrant, Christie's able to clear it out of that account. Her and I've got a system where if that account is short because we've tied up 325,000 into a CD,
Mm-hmm.
then when that CD matures, we pay the general fund back. We just have an accounting system, we follow, we track it. But your question, Ian, was out of that CD, roughly 11,000 in interest.
Let's try the $300,000 CD.
And then she moved 14,000 extra into it. So all of the interest and then a little bit out of their checking, to level it off at 325,000. And renew for another year.
That makes sense, transfer to CD.
Then, of course, the horse stall fund is used for the improvement of those horse stalls, which are, I mean, you can see tons of collections for those. Farm school, of course. So that savings in the fair endowment,
Yeah, on the screen.
so the savings.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
In the fair endowment, these are all
Yeah.
donations into fair. Some of this was mill levy money that had been levied over the years. But,
Mm-hmm.
part of having a nest egg in there is to make sure, should the HVAC at the Agriplex go out and we have to have a conversation about we need to partner in it or grandstands, it allows us to have some flexibility and discuss with the fair board, should there need to be major maintenance or renovations or improvements, that we have areas to do it. And that's just a negotiation between the two.
Yeah, because there was a time when anything major happened out there, the fair board couldn't cover it.
Mhm.
But most of those were with the old 4-H building, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so by paying the bills out of the general fund, it's allowed us to not touch the principal in that account, obviously, and let it grow itself for a little bit.
Okay.
And that did allow some flexibility, so during budget cuts, the fair didn't feel it like other departments. There was a few things like mileage we did reduce, but the fair itself did not. So, that was good news.
Makes you wonder what this process is gonna look like next year.
Anything else with Jenny's budget? Molly, did you have anything to add?
I mean, I'll go over a couple of things for you guys. Obviously, the salaries we talked about, McKinsey, the mileage and expense, if you read in there, and I did attach a sheet, hopefully you guys all got it, that looks like this.
Yes.
Just trying to, I mean, obviously, everybody that does a job wants to be the best at their job that they can be, right? And one of those things is where I'm at, you don't really move up from where I'm at, but there is a fair management, course that is offered, that you can take and be, it's a graduate program, and you can be certified as fair management. So that's why that line item went up. That sheet that I attached there, I went through and you can do it in a 3-year, 4-year, or 5 years. So that's why I put it a little higher and attached that, if, not saying even this year, but some year we decide that I can do that, we have a breakdown. Those costs will probably change a little bit, but, what else? There was the, I'm getting there. The continuing dues and education, we're really close to that. To going, I think I have $45, so that might actually be right around where it needed to be, from what it was last year, so. If you look at, there is a new equipment line item that we put on there where we asked for money. This was, the fair board sat down, the 5 members sat down and together put a list of things that they felt from most important to least important. And I listed it in that, there. Obviously, the new one is gonna be the same as Jim with a new tractor and drag. It's just not efficient and it's causing issues. And so, you can read through there and those are the 5 things that they felt are most important, to the fair board at this time. Kind of skipping over fair, we talked about lodging tax, some of those things have not changed. We did add information and technology. I did not put a price next to it because that is not my wheelhouse and I don't know what that stuff costs, but right now I have been using my own personal laptop for the last 7 years to take meeting minutes and the ShowWorks boot camp that we just did, I did a slideshow, I used my own computer for that. My computer is about ready to die, so we are asking for laptops for the fair office, one for those kinds of things, one that the fair assistant could use. Right now, there are days where I could use Mackenzie's help. The problem is all of the information is on one computer and we can't both use one computer. So it would be nice to have a second laptop that information could be accessed by the fair assistant so that they could be working at the same time as me on stuff. A lot of times I'm saving it for a Friday or something when I'm not there and then she just has this huge pile of things that she could do.
Isn't that IT?
That's why she didn't add any for hers.
Yeah.
Not the IT budget.
Yeah. The other one was the audio visual, and I guess that's probably not IT, but I don't really know where that would come from. Just putting that, so we put the Net 2 system like the courthouse has on the Agriplex, and it really would be beneficial to add that to the exhibit hall and the indoor arena. Right now we're handing out keys. Sometimes you get the keys back, sometimes you're tracking them down. I had a lady, they rented a building, her husband took it to Idaho. I didn't have it for 2 weeks. So not only that, you can track exactly who's coming into a building, what time they came in, just like you can here, and those would be nice systems to have out there, eventually. But I think that's the really big changes to
How much is that?
mine. I don't remember what it cost to put on the Acroplex. 3,500?
For Net 2?
Is that sound about right? Did Jim leave?
He's
Well, speak up.
Yes,
3,500? Is that what it costs?
roughly.
That's a,
See why this works so well?
it will be more expensive to the other areas though, because there's no
Right,
internet circuits, of course. but-
right.
Not a sad thing.
It's roughly about 2,500 a door.
But we'd only need it on one door per building.
Right.
You don't have to put it on every door. I don't think that's necessary.
Personally, I think that's stuff that, as Jim progresses through the fiscal year in his building maintenance line, if it's looking like there's some room, I think that's a good place to get it done. I mean, maintenance is a tough one because you don't know what's gonna break, right?
Yeah.
And so
Can't forecast it.
if we have a good year with very few breaks, might be a chance to get some of those desired projects done that,
So you're thinking the net two would come out of mine if I have, okay.
that'd be my thought. What do you guys think? I mean, it's keying
Yeah, I agree.
hardware on
I
doors.
think that lives in Jim's.
I mean, like if the door got replaced itself, that'd come out of yours.
Mhm.
So I think that net two would come out of yours, unless it was something that the fair board said we want it before fair. We say we can't do it in the general fund right now. Use discretionary funds. If they say yes, fine. But if they say no, then I think we watch and see how the building maintenance line goes, and if
Yeah.
it's looking good, get those done. Does that make sense? But I do think at some point we're gonna have a discussion about AV itself.
About AV.
Audio visual,
Yeah.
so camera, speakers, microphones,
Projectors.
especially at the Agriplex.
They're working on it today.
Well, that didn't help, but where does that live? Is that a line in Jim's department? That would be AV,
Overall, no matter what building it was in.
right?
Probably so.
That's what I think too.
So if it does come out of mine, then does that make sense to have another line item just for AV?
Well, you know, our expense line is at 3,500 lines at this point, so we might as well just throw another one to our chart of things.
What's one more?
3501's gonna send you to another page.
That's right. Yeah, our software developer is gonna be so happy. But
Do you guys have any questions about what I wrote?
I don't.
That means I did a really good job of explaining it, right?
I think what is,
Or we don't have the money
Well,
to deal with it.
and I know that too.
well, like the difference this year versus other years, like the asks for stuff is a condensed list with priorities. That's a huge thing, and we've probably got that in the past, but it's nice. The fair board's on one page, at least you guys can come to some agreement, but that's big. Before it was like, we have all this stuff and nobody can make a decision, and so nothing gets done.
Yeah, the
Or something
priority list is important to us.
Very.
you know, when you look at the new equipment, like the garage doors, Jim talked about maybe being able to get it done this fiscal year. I don't know what the status of that is, but,
I gotta get an updated quote.
and then in a case of insulation tape, that'll be easy. Fence between the fairgrounds and airport, financially, that's gonna be easier. It's gonna cause some other issues, but the town has offered to pay for half.
As they should.
Can I touch base on that one? At the last fair board meeting, the fair board has now decided that they think it would be better if they put their own fence, our own fence in, and not share that cost with them.
Based on the time frame, though, right? Because if our share costs, it's a share, it's waiting a long time.
Well, no,
Correct.
we could do the share now, or if they approve that, we could do it now. So, it's just getting it done. But I thought it was, they didn't like the fence. That's how I took it anyways. They didn't like the 8-foot field fence over there. That's the way I kind of took it, but.
So because it borders the airport, they have certain standards. If they're gonna build a fence, what it has to be to. If we were to build a fence on our side of the line, we do it whatever we want to. It's not our obligation to keep things out of the airport, right? And so it increases the cost as it adheres to their standard. And it's not the town standard, it's the FAA standard, obviously.
So figure out what it costs to build ours, take half of that and then say, we're only given this much. We're building it on the property line.
Or we're requesting as much from the town.
Yeah, yeah, I think you could probably pull that one over, because that does seem like their problem instead of our problem.
And ultimately, it would be cheaper for them too.
I think
It would
that,
be cheaper for them.
so the timeline discussion that Molly's talking about is that we could choose to do nothing, and then as their phase 2 for the airport progresses, they'd be required to pay the full price of it. And then, but that phase 2 is a ways out until they are able to obtain all the hangar property, and then, but I think that they're only willing to cost share if we build it to the airport standard. If we build it
Yes.
to our standard, then
So that's the way I took it.
But see, the way I remember the conversation was they thought our half of the big 8-foot field fence, if we did a 5-wire fence, would actually be less than our half of the 8-foot. So why not just do that if it's gonna cost us less
5-wire
money?
fence, just like a,
Yeah,
what kind of wire?
correct? Molly?
Yes, that's what I think they, but.
What kind of fence are we talking about? I mean, we're talking about 5-wire, what's a 5-wire fence look like on that? Is it barbed wire fence?
Well,
It's
it's just
barbed
like
wire.
what's over there already, so that if a cow got loose, like it couldn't get into the airport, is basically what we need over there. So if an animal got loose, it's not on the airport, is the main
I'm
concern.
gonna go ahead and quote and say that's their problem. They wanna keep something out, they're required to fence it out.
Right.
I mean, I think we have a lot of leverage on that with the town, to be honest with you, because if they need a special fence to whatever, they have the choice to build it themselves, which is gonna cost them more than if we shared on any portion. And so our portion of it would be not very much. I think that you could probably manage to get them to pay more than more than half, because what we want is not expensive is what they want. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So they want something that it costs more, and say, we'll put up our own deal and it's gonna cost this much. I think we could probably get some agreement there that goes, let's push up the timeline and build something that, a privacy fences look like a wood slat fence or something, or a plastic fence, or what does it look like if they build it?
It's the big tall with the field fence, it's the wires with the little squares that's already around the airport.
So on the east side, during that phase 1, you can see the fence.
I believe you. I haven't been out there in quite some time.
Well, and the fence was not in great shape, but then when we got that big snow and all of the hangars, it really demolished. So that was kind of what
Started the conversation.
broke the fence. Like, all the way.
So are you just concerned about keeping animals off the runway or keeping
Out of-
animals?
Out of the airport if something got loose.
How do you feel about animals coming downtown? Cause I've seen it just as likely
Yeah.
to come this way as they go that way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can remember when I was in 4-H, they finally caught up with one out on 320 after it went through town.
We had cattle in the I don't know,
That's all.
50 or 60 head of cattle in the neighborhood across the street just last fall, so.
Man, imagine if the chickens got out. Yeah.
So are you saying you don't believe it's necessary for us to be concerned with that?
Well, is the concern just the runway or is it in general keeping animals on the grounds?
Keeping animals off of the airport.
Because it is contained in that area, correct? I mean,
Isn't there not a fence all the way around that other than that?
You're talking like the rodeo arena.
Yes. I call it the infield, so basically anything from the
And I
solid,
guess the ones
when-
I'm thinking, when I was remembering getting away were 4-H steers.
that is a concern.
And I
It's
know,
862 feet.
yeah,
That's like that's where you go, man, that's a easy. I still think it's the airport's problem. Legitimately, I think it's the airport's problem. But I don't know those rules as well, but I would still say that the airport the city has the vast majority of the responsibility to keep planes from hitting animals that get onto their runway, because that's what the state law says. So you go, I've got a lot of levers to pull here, and you go, either pony up or whatever, you'll have some poor kid crying because they landed a Cessna on Betsy.
So my proposal is that at the next meeting,
Yeah.
schedule some time with the town.
Yeah.
We talk about it, see what
Yeah,
their hopes are, because that way we can understand where they're at, and then
Chris, that can't cost more than like $3,000, that would be a big bill.
if they're willing to share, maybe we're willing to share a little bit and come to a compromise.
State project, different.
The other thing about it is though, they build a fence, then you're not, like, basically, what my understanding is, if we do, even if we cost share it, this fence, we are not then allowed to touch it
No,
on our side, you can't.
they put it on their property, off them, yeah, but that's where I go back to, it's also their responsibility to keep stuff out of there. They're operating a runway, and they're doing whatever, and so it's like, what do they want?
Well, it's gotta fall into that fence out thing, don't it?
Exactly.
Cause we had panels against some of their existing fence and I got a phone call that said we had to move them. They couldn't be on that fence.
Who called you?
Tabitha,
And somebody had to tell her.
FAA.
Okay. You have an FAA police?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think it was Dallas Mountain. It was when they couldn't use their entrance, so they were coming through the fairgrounds and using an entrance
Okay,
from the
okay.
fairgrounds to get into the airport, that they saw it, because
There had
it'd
to be
been
a
there
point
for
of
2
origin
years,
somewhere.
and then they never noticed.
Okay.
But I think if we schedule time next time, have a discussion with the town, we can understand directly from them
Yeah.
what their thoughts and
Absolutely.
concerns are. Because if we do need to use the fence to attach panels to, then maybe it's something that we do look at something on our side. But
Yeah,
I don't know that it's entirely fair to not have them at the table discussing it.
Or write that
Right, I agree.
your agreement with the.
right, I'm with you, I think that's the best way to go forward now.
so anything else with your budget, Jenny?
I'm good.
Do you guys have any more questions? Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the Sabio Creek Road discussion.
Malcolm's first. So we finally have everything we need to get Seville Creek dedicated where it physically sits. So I want to be very clear for everybody out there and everybody in here that the physical road does not change. What changes is now you're legally allowed to drive on it. So the right-of-way as described looks like this. The problem is the road as it sits does not have this little crook in it. The southern end, wrong way. A portion of the current right-of-way is on the current road. But what I've drafted for you, it's an order of the board that alters this right-of-way to become this right-of-way. So it would be recorded in your minutes, it would be recorded in the land records. And we have easements from the two affected landowners, like Sabio Creek LLC and Sabio Gravel LLC. And so we have easements from all the affected parties. So the statute allows for you to declare a road in that instance or alter a right-of-way with just an order of the board. Without consent of the landowners, you have to appoint a viewer, post notice, hold a public hearing. People get to make claims for damages. And so you'll remember that the reason we're doing this is to effectuate a subdivision request. I'm trying to find the order. A subdivision request, that's where this all started.
You're welcome.
So the order of the board would just be to alter that portion of Seville Creek Road, which is County Road 50, originally declared 1889, in the south half of Section 30, to follow the right-of-way as described in Exhibit B, which is the survey from Style.
So, it's been a long process to get here, but it's mainly getting all the signatures we need to do.
You're telling me about it.
And this is only gonna be 60 feet, so this will be phase one of the project.
So,
At this point, you need a motion, don't you?
yes,
I'd move to alter the Seville Creek Road and authorize the chairman to sign an order to have that effect on our behalf.
A second.
okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the alteration of Seville Creek Road and authorize the chairman to sign the order. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
It's almost anticlimactic. Then, following up on something that you took up, I think it was March.
Yeah, back in March.
With that is a Seville Creek for the Skyline Civil Subdivision.
So I'm presenting before the board, the only revision that's been made to this plat since the one that was conditionally approved is the surveyor has revised the date to June 11th as a byproduct of myself and the county engineer have gone through the plat and confirmed that is the only change, so
And now all
He's
these
approved.
tracks touch the road.
yes, they do.
Which was what it was after from the get-go.
So I do still need you guys to
Okay, but
approve it
Since you
and
put it all out.
officially approve it. And then if that's okay, I need your signature there, Chairman.
I would
Great,
move to approve the Skyline subdivision and authorize the chairman to sign.
And second it.
okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the Skyline Simple subdivision and authorize the chairman to sign. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
From March to now, we're done.
Hey.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Not so simple sub, right?
Look at that.
Thank you very much,
That's what happens.
sis. All right, did you have anything else for the planning department regarding this?
I don't think so.
Okay,
No.
thank you.
Okay, we have some board appointments.
You have two boards that are due for appointments by the end of June. You've already done the library board, which now I feel bad about because I had an application last week. So I'm gonna reach out to them and let them know that you've already made that appointment, but the two that are up, or three that are up, excuse me, you have the planning and zoning board. So Bill Klein and Bonnie Lockhart are currently on it. Their term expires June 30 of this month. They've indicated they're willing to continue. I've received no other applications for that board. The other one would be Hospital Foundation. Levi Clark is up. His term expires June 30th. He's indicated he's willing to continue. And I have no other applicants for that board either.
Okay.
Levi did ask that I circle back after Cajun night and see if he was still willing. And he is.
Oh, good.
Because the first time I asked was right in the midst of that planning, and he said, you should probably ask at a different time. copy.
Okay, I will consider a motion for those board appointments.
I would move to appoint Levi Clark to the Hospital Foundation Board for a term expiring June 30, 2031. That's not that far away. I used to be scared by 2021.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to appoint Levi Clark to the Hospital Foundation Board for a term expiring June 30th, 2031. Is there any further discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Malcolm, you had you had no applications come in for the two planning and zoning boards? Nobody wanted to do it?
No.
Okay.
And years ago,
It's a thankless deal,
Yeah.
but I just,
so years and years ago, Sharon Utter had come in and which it's her birthday, by the way.
Oh.
But, she had come in years and years ago talking about advertising for those. So quarterly, I put an ad in the paper that talks about the different boards, how to apply. There's a thing up on the website, so I took that feedback from her to heart and have done that since.
And has that helped?
Time to time.
Just depends.
I haven't got talked to about not putting it in the paper since, so
That's good.
from that perspective, it's worked.
Was Sharon the one calling you?
Yeah, she actually came in here,
Yeah,
commissioner meeting, and brought it up, but,
yeah, thank you.
I thought it was very valuable feedback, so quarterly I put it in the paper.
I think it is.
It's good that we have some people that will step up to these board positions.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Kim said they're a thankless job.
well, they are. I mean, yeah. it's a
I make
thankless job.
cookies.
Maybe that's why they don't get.
Maybe that's why I have two people who are willing to continue Jolovich. I swear.
Okay, I would consider a motion for the Planning and Zoning Commission.
I move to appoint Bonnie Lockhart and Bill Klein to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a term expiring June 30, 2029.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and second to appoint Bonnie Lockhart and Bill Klein to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a term expiring June 30th, 2029. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, I want to officially extend a thank you and appreciation to them. If it's a thankless job, at least let's thank them, so.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, do we have any further business before we break for lunch?
Chloe's got her.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So, spent a lot of time in all these meetings on roofs and roads and a lot of details, fire, security. But when we brought up election security, it's generally been a nothing to see here, move along. 5 years ago, I was in here, technically it was a different room, and two of you signed a constitutional rights sanctuary thing, and I was assuming that that was not just for show. For 3 years now, we've brought to you all so much information. And now we have July 31st, an expiring maintenance and service agreement, July 31st. So no mention of what's going on with that. We have Windows 10 still on our machines. We have no updates since 2022. And all we got after a request to fix it was maybe we should look into that. It's been 3 years now we've been asking and still haven't looked into it. I appreciate that y'all do a lot of work for the county. And I'm not saying you do everything wrong, I'm saying you do a lot of good for the county, I'm sure. But this is the republic that we exist because of. And we have thousands of people now trained in the state to do hand counting. I presented in 2024 to Malcolm a binder with all of the necessary details for a continuity of government action in case something went wrong that year to hand count that election. Myself and just a couple other folks put together every bit of paperwork necessary and the thumb drive full of all those forms to change as needed to make an election possible by hand counting at extremely low cost. We made them ourselves for that election and had them ready. If you needed them in Glendo, we had them. If we had like all the individual races all printed up and such, except for the ones that were super fancy, and then we had blanks for those. On our budgets, we did it just fine. This is the county, and if we're going to do the necessary overhaul of our machines to actually be certifiable, to actually have proof that we're protected from increasing and proven threats, cyber attacks, which happen around us all the time, nobody's denying it. It will cost this county sometime in the future, very near future, to comply with anything that has been requested for a long time now by the government even. I mean, the president has executive orders, yeah. So we're not in compliance. We don't have the bare minimum of security for these days. It's gonna cost tens of thousands of dollars minimum for this county to get up to speed. This is our elections, our primary. And if you said today, which you can by your authority, say, look, we can't prove we're safe, we're legally liable if we are proven that this, I mean, can you imagine, pardon my language, the shit show if this goes, if anyone proves that in more, I mean, we've already proven, but let's say it gets out in the news that Platte County's elections, despite the efforts of all the officials, it's not bona fide. The legal fees, you wanna talk about a roof cost? It's gonna pass up a roof cost to fix this, even without legal issues. So we're offering you a really super inexpensive, easily deployable method to save this whole situation and go to something that you can actually look at and say, we looked at it, we saw it, all of, everything's people right there, transparency in the full gamut is being offered to you versus the nothing to see here approach that puts you all liable and the county liable. Nothing to see here. Oh, it's not been updated since 2022? Oh, it's not, up to the codes that the federal government's asking us to please go ahead and implement? Oh, we're running Windows 10? Oh, we'll patch it. It'll be fine. We'll just get a little extension and patch it and it'll be fine. You're worried about patching a roof and you have nothing to say about patching or about the fact that our elections have been patched 1 million times? That's all I have to put before you, and I'm gonna ask you, and I had to come back and ask you, because I have to speak up. And I'm asking you to please consider not just putting a Band-Aid on our elections, but do it away. It costs so much less. and is so much more transparently accurate. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
And midterms are so incredibly important.
Yeah, they are the election essentially.
Here they are, yeah.
So if you paid attention, at least to, since I've been commissioner, I've tried hard not to fix a problem with another problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I've attended multiple hand count demonstrations, trainings,
Mm-hmm.
and from my perspective, we're trying to fix a problem with a bigger problem. I mean, I've sat through those trainings when we've had 10 people take it and nobody has the same results. I've sat through it when we had 30 people take it, nobody has the same results. So how are we gonna get that to work?
So if I may, the two situations you're talking about were the workshop, which was a method that is different from the one we've taught all over the state now, slightly different. And it was definitely workable, but has been improved on incredibly since then. That was 2 years ago. The method that I handed off the whole cause of government thing to for Malcolm, even since then, there've been slight tweaks that make it, like, really, even some of the super what ifs are resolved now. And the one that you attended at the seminar, you sat amongst a table of folks that, you know, who knows whether or not they were serious about it. I know that there were a few people there specifically to try to, shall we say, discredit it.
And how are you gonna make sure that when you do an actual count, there aren't people there that are trying to do that?
Because election judges would be the ones that would be doing the hand counting. People sworn to do it right. And the training would be not in the middle of a cookies and seminar type situation.
I'm not opposed to fixing a problem, but I just, so far, haven't seen a fix.
Well, we can show you the system in, like, if we can do an actual serious thing, not with people standing behind you, you know, crowding you out, in a little tiny room on a method that,
You know, the problem I had is we did, you know, one race with a couple candidates. And we're talking, you know, when we have a ballot, how many races do we have, Malcolm?
Like 22, depends on the cycle, but I think on the primary, there's 22 in some locations.
And so that's what I can't get past is if we can't get one of them, just a small amount done, how are we gonna do it?
it was the circumstances there, and as well, we had found out later that the trainer who had taught us had not taught one before. But
So those are all things that I think need
that
to
we
be
can
worked out
show you.
before we would move to something else.
we can
Or
show
at least
you.
me, from my concerns.
understand.
I think we're getting sidetracked. The sidetracked is that we are not statutorily compliant. We do have an alternate method. The Secretary of State would have an alternate method. We understand that the clerks are getting together in the association to learn a different alternate method. The focus is that our statute says we have to be current. We are not current. We don't have antivirus. We have Windows 10. There is so much more that's the problem. Let's not get caught in the weeds about how to.
Sick of it, because I have not broken the law here, nor have they.
No one
Last
has
year-
said
no,
you
it's
have
my turn to
broken
talk.
the
You always
law.
bully over
I'm
people and talk
saying
over
to
'em. It's
have
my
you
turn.
guys
Malcolm has the
follow
floor, ma'am.
You
statute.
are always bullying people and I'm sick of it. So here's the deal, last election in '24, Jill went to the state canvassing board and said this to the Secretary of State, who said he disagreed with her. And the problem here is, you're all pissed because we disagree with you. And the part that I'm really pissed about is, because now I am, and I wasn't going to say anything today, but I've got to stand up for myself. If nobody else will, I will. So I pride myself that I worked on a compromise. I didn't see you there to work on a compromise, but I was. I worked on a compromise to get something in statute that had some hand count. When you accuse us of not listening to the people, when I got the postcard saying we should return to a full hand count, I had 2 to 3 times as many people reach out saying no. So if it's a numbers game, I follow the numbers game. So I am sick of being accused falsely of breaking the law. The Secretary of State has said so. I'll go back and find the video so everybody has the video evidence, but I am sick of it. And I'm please asking to stop accusing me of breaking the law when I have not. If I have, you know the recourse, and maybe this time the complaint will contain the truth. That's all I've got on it.
So I would suggest that if you're disgruntled about how we're handling this situation, I'm with Malcolm. There's so many times you can cry wolf and it not be there. And so to his point about the Secretary of State disagreeing with you, I don't put much merit in your guys' arguments now because you have cried wolf so many times. And so when we sit here and listen to you guys and go, nothing to see here, that's exactly what it is. I go, oh, nothing to see here. If there's anything I can take to the bank, it's probably that what I've heard is full of maybe half-truths and falsehoods is what you guys have presented to us. And so to be perfectly frank with you, that's how I take any advice that has the group behind it, because you guys have a long history of misleading me, and I don't like.
Certified today.
That
It's
is
the same-
incorrect.
It is not incorrect, Jill, and he said it in 24.
Our statute says we have to uphold the EAC and our guidelines.
And we are.
And we are not. We are not current.
I would suggest that you vote for a different Secretary of State. I mean, he is the lead election officer for the state of Wyoming, isn't he? Yeah, no, do you know?
We're asking our commissioners,
I
because
agree.
that is your authority. We have not accused anyone. All
We're
we have
getting
done is
different-
brought, excuse me, all we have done is
I think
brought
you
the
said
light
today
that
we're
you
not
are
following the law.
breaking
That's your
the law
accusation.
if you choose to do that this coming election.
I'm with you.
We
I
haven't
understand.
done anything yet. We haven't done anything other than bring it to your attention. And we, speaking of, maybe it's a little bit of projection here, someone's attacking us. We are trying to
That's
help
rich.
our county. For some reason, you don't understand that.
Become more trustworthy before you ask for
I
help.
agree, you should.
That's good advice for anybody. I'll take it as well.
I agree.
So
We have the statutes to back us.
I don't think we're making any progress, so
Okay.
we're gonna
As
adjourn for
always.
lunch. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your time.